And we are live.
Oh, hi.
And the cameras are no longer messed up.
Not good.
You can't make us go live right when Raven sends me the link to a dice store.
Fox is like totally out of it now. It's like there's an entire store here, though.
Dice.
Sir, you have a game to run.
Somebody else DM. I'm shopping.
Fox, they sell scoops of dice.
Oops,
Like they
dice.
just go
That
into
sounds
like a Raisin Brand scooper, and you get like 2 scoops of dice.
Yeah.
Here,
I would love
Where
that.
do I click to get that?
I'm just going to click this into chat, and life is going to be fine.
Oh. I can open this without killing our internet.
No, I'm just gonna bookmark this and I'll close the tab.
They're at Comic-Con like almost every year.
Little dragon dice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's you can like get beer, like they do like a beer pitcher for like $30, and you can get like a beer pitcher full of dice.
Yep. The price
That sounds
for a
awesome.
scoop of dice is $22.83 right now for Canadians.
So cheap. Oh
Yeah.
That's in Canadian.
That's
That's in
Canadian,
Canadian.
off their price,
Good
off their
Lord.
website.
I am going to be looking at that after the game.
Yep, because they sell like their own dice, and then they sell chessex as well.
Yep. They also have their self-branded trays, which have like a baby dragon on them.
Oh, I now need one of these. You're muted.
And Kiara's muted.
Yeah, but I was saying it's cute. I'm looking at it right now. It's super cute.
The
Would,
baby
but-
dragon dice trays that have their logo on it. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're adorable.
More check it out on break when I can close a different internet screen in order to bring up that internet screen.
Is this a birthday present hint? I don't have a birthday. We don't talk about that.
Oh, they've got metal dice.
There is no day of my birth. I just arrived one day.
Okay, we
I
have a
just
game, guys. We have a game. Focus.
We do have a game.
So happy
We do.
arrival day.
So I'm feeling a little bit lost because we've just spent the last like month and a half starting our shows with giveaways, but December's over.
And then we get
So sad.
distracted,
How do I-
and then we start with the distraction of dice.
Yeah.
How do I
That's
start
my
again?
fault.
So that's sort of on brand, right?
A
Yeah.
little bit.
That's my fault. My dice have been rolling shitty, and they might all end up in the dice jail for a year.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of your dice rolling shitty, last week we started the session with you guys. I think you just finished a long rest and you set out for the day, and you were all quickly interrupted in your travels by an explosion off in the distance, which you ran off to go investigate and found a very, very angry, fiery Gnoll there, which almost did some very, very bad things to our good friend Isa here. But mysteriously, a portal appeared behind the angry Gnoll and pulled her through it. Wonder whose fault that is.
I take
So-
no responsibility for my actions.
Isa did not get a feeble mind thrown at her, which is probably for the best.
Probably. I probably would have failed because it's not my dice's fault they roll low. It's just Isa.
Yeah, I mean, it was also a level 8 spell, so she also has a really high DC as well. So it would have been not a good time for anyone involved.
Now I'm curious, what is her DC?
I mean, I'm not going to tell you in case you guys
Yeah.
run into her again, because for anyone that is up to date on the Tuesday game, in a few days' time, these two groups are not going to be that far from each other. So after kind of investigating the area and thinking about the message that Keo left with you about what happened to Tyrus, you guys ventured further into the desert and happened upon some ruins that had a strange magical orb in them that was mounted upon a pedestal. And after touching the strange magic things in the ruins, something
ends
that
well.
most people wouldn't usually do, you guys discovered that it turned out to be what did I call it? I think it was a cleansing stone is what it was, and it did exactly what it's named after and cleansed you guys of all dirt and filth that was on you.
We did do the smart thing. We went and carried the smart pup to the item and told him to identify it,
Yes, yeah.
and then touched it.
When Isa spotted the item and realized that it was possibly magical, she did go back to the group, pick up the little pup, and then carry him over to it and like identify this. And he did, and you guys were magically cleansed. You attempted to remove the orb from the pedestal. Between the strength of Xena and Isa, you had some really good rolls in there, but it was mounted firmly and did not budge. And eventually you guys did move on, and you were beset upon by a group of mechanical cobra-like monsters that you have faced before, so you kind of knew what to expect. You had, I'd say, relatively easy battle against them, although you did damage some of your equipment during that battle. One of the things that was damaged was the precious shield of Isa. And another thing that basically broke was Xerx's axe.
It's laying in the sand.
Yeah. After the battle, he just kind of abandoned it.
I buried the blade in the sand and just left it there.
Yep. Now, the downside to the shield getting damaged was that the map on the back of the shield was also damaged. You did manage to recreate it to the best of your ability on paper instead of on a piece of your battle equipment, which was probably smart, and are fairly confident in the bit of the map that you restored. And after that point, you were coming to the end of the day, but did have a little bit of travel left if you wanted to take it, and you did take it. For whatever reason, Xerax was feeling quite confident in himself and his abilities, despite
Never again.
just breaking his weapon in battle, and marched forward, doing I wrote it down. It was a perception check, which you rolled a 13 on, followed by a percentile, which you rolled a 19 on. And that is where we're going to pick up today, as I try very hard to ignore all the links to dice that I see popping up in the chat.
The dice golem appears ready for combat.
Raven
I see the
posted
little-
this like really good gold one for that would be great for Xena, and I'm like, ah.
No, there's
Ooh,
a
that is
picture in the
nice.
bottom corner. They come in like every color imaginable with like that.
Yes.
No, I'm not going to look at this. No.
You got
Focus.
clients away from the dice. So can we tell
So-
how many dice goblins we have in this party?
We have
Not
a
enough.
problem.
Not
We have a
enough.
problem.
Look,
What problem?
if you play D&D, you're a dice goblin.
There's two things in all of D&D. There's really only two things that you can collect: dice and minis.
Yep.
Pick one or the other.
And if
'cause
you're a
if you
DM,
pick
the
both,
books.
you're going to be poor.
No. The trick is you make your own dice and get a 3D printer and print minis.
Yeah,
There you go.
I do that, and I'm still poor.
Or you just use Roll20 and you have like your
Yeah, you say
the
that,
art
but I
friends make
keep
the tokens.
I keep buying all these fancy token packs and stuff for Roll20, and that takes my money too. I've got a problem.
It's an expensive hobby, but it's nowhere near as expensive as Warhammer.
Yes, the nice thing
Oh,
about
true,
D&D
true.
is it doesn't have to be expensive. You really don't have to
Yeah.
spend anything at all.
Or Magic: The Gathering. That
Oh.
when I played that, it got real expensive. You couldn't keep up with it. You
I
just
had this
couldn't.
conversation this weekend. My boyfriend had the audacity to ask me, "How much did you spend on dice?" I go turned around and went, "How much did you spend on golf?" He's been buying a new
My-
set of clubs.
My very first in-person D&D game, we literally just used little squares of paper as all the
Mhm.
markers. Cost us $0. So
Yep.
that's
we
what's nice
we
about
used
D&D.
We use those little like plastic gems that you would line the bottom of fish tanks with.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, you could use anything. It's
Yep.
in theater of the mind if you don't have maps, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Speaking of theater of the mind, Xerax, you are leading the group through the desert, and the sun is beginning to set, but you still have like an hour or so of decent enough light to travel by left in the day. And about 30 minutes after you've begun to lead the group through the desert, you happen to spot a set of footprints in the sand. And the tracks in the sand ahead of you, they're very clearly humanoid tracks. And running parallel to the humanoid's tracks appears to be the paw prints of some kind of large quadruped. You immediately rule out these paw prints being from a giant hyena, as you're more than familiar enough with them to recognize their tracks. But are you proficient with nature or history?
Nature, yes.
Give me a nature check.
And we're off to an amazing start. That's a 10.
Oh
A
man.
10? Okay. Yeah,
Hey, double digits.
Yeah. It's not quite high enough, but close.
Oh.
You're close. It's not a super high DC. You sit there for a moment before waving the group over, just to try and figure out what these are, and you can't quite put it together. I mean, it's clearly paw prints, but what they belong to, you have no idea. And you're about, say, 30 to 40 feet ahead of the group. So you can wave the group over if you want to investigate further, or you could just keep going.
Let's wave the group over.
Okay, so you wave the group over and you guys approach, and it's obvious what Xerax has spotted. I mean, there are tracks in the sand. They stand out quite a bit. And anyone that is proficient in nature or history can give me a check in either one of those.
Can I make an argument for survival, since survival does indicate to check to follow tracks, hunt wild game, guide your group? Would that include maybe like somewhat in identifying?
You could.
Could I
Like
use my survival to try and tell how long these tracks have been here?
Yes.
Awesome.
Okay,
I would rather do that.
I did
I'll
a
go.
nature
I'll
roll
go
of
that
7.
route too. I'll go that
A
route too.
nature roll of 7.
Yeah, I'm proficient. Have +4 in it. I rolled
I
a
got
3.
I got 12 on my survival. To see how
Every
long.
druid is bad at nature.
I got
It's an
15.
base skill.
Did you say history too could check?
History or nature.
15 survival to see. Same thing she was checking, I guess, to make survival make
long?
sense. It's just like how long ago did they go through?
23 nature.
Okay. So on the survival, you realize as you're looking at these tracks that tracks like this do not usually last very long in the desert, especially in the desert flatlands like this area. So whatever left these tracks here probably isn't all that far ahead of you right now.
I'm pulling out weapons just in case.
I share that
And-
information with the group.
Yxis, with your spectacular nature check, you look at these prints, and they resemble the prints of a wolf, but much, much larger. Like, you've seen wolves and dire wolves pass through Wraith's Cast before as trophies or traveling with nomads. But these prints are even larger than a dire wolf. So it's some sort of canine creature, but you don't quite know what.
Oh, guys, those look like wolf prints, but, you know dire wolves?
Mm-hmm.
Bigger.
Not personally.
Okay.
Like a lot bigger.
So what you're saying is fun.
Very
No,
fun.
not fun. No.
Big puppies.
Oh God.
Big puppies sound awesome.
Maybe we can tame them and ride them across the desert. Who's with me?
Let
Very
me
least
ask
we
you
can
this:
fight.
You
is there
do make a
anything you
valid
don't
point.
like? Anything you don't wanna fight? Because maybe I should start saying things like that.
I mean, if we could capture them and tame them or convince them to accompany us, having some mounts would make travel a bit easier.
Yes.
Wood.
And it would be very cool too. Glorious. Think of us on these large wolves rushing through the desert seeking out our dragon's prey. They'll see us coming in fear, and we'll snarl, and our mounts will snarl, and our roars would be heard throughout the desert. Yes.
So Yixis, because you got above 20 on your check, you do know that this set of tracks, there is only one humanoid and one canine creature.
I'm sorry. I'm laughing because I just rolled to see if Euxis would do something, and I rolled a nat 1, so he throws up at the prospect of engaging with gigantic wolves and trying to tame them.
It looks like the excitement has gotten a little bit too much for this one.
I pat Yixis on the back.
It gets easier with time, pup.
Like, I imagine with a nat 1 on that, it's the kind of vomit that makes you dizzy afterwards.
It's the kind of vomit that then leads to dry heaving, which afterwards you're done after that.
Yep. So I'm sorry. What was it you said about my spectacular nature roll?
Because your nature roll was above 20, you do know that there is just a single set of humanoid tracks and a single set of these canine tracks as well.
So after all that, there does seem to only be one human and one dog. Big
Someone has
wolf.
already tamed the beast.
It'd be easier for us to take them.
Either that or we could trade for it.
No, we can do that.
Or more difficult,
If not, just
it
kill
could
the
be
master, take the
loyal
dog.
only to its master.
Agree to
Yeah.
disagree.
I've heard tales of a wolf who stayed by its master's grave long after they died and just wanted to protect their grave, and
Wow.
sad story.
Ethan's gonna turn
Beautiful.
and look at.
Rojan, you're muted.
Izara's gonna like turn and grin at Yixis. Who knows? Maybe we could trade our illustrious Arcastan mage here for the dog.
Xena pats Zara like heartily on the back for that one.
Regretting life choices right there.
I try to run.
Catch. Pick up the pup.
See, no matter what you say, she's always gonna refer to you as an Arcastan mage because you learned from Arcastan magic books.
Not
Therefore,
really
you
the
are
right
cast an
classification.
Poor guy. This poor pup.
So,
Do we follow the tracks then?
Zara,
See
what do you
what's
think?
going on?
Let's see. Oh yeah, that's right. I have exhaustion.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you do.
What time of day is it?
It's getting.
It is about 30 minutes before sundown. So the sun is like right on the horizon, about to dip below it.
I am still not in the best condition. Light's not in our favor. It may be best just to set up camp for the night. Maybe track
What?
them. Maybe track them in the morning once we have a light on our side again.
Tracks will be gone come morning.
Yeah, with that survival check that you did, Xena, you know that by morning the wind, even just a gentle wind, will have blown away those tracks by morning.
Actually, I have an idea.
I go scout ahead.
No,
Destroy the enemy.
No,
Drag it back on the back of its own beast.
we use Skelly.
Oh, or we could use Skelly.
It's not the worst idea.
Can Skelly scout?
Skelly, I'm sorry I have to call you by that name. Follow these tracks until you find their maker.
In the meantime, should we find a place to set up camp away from the tracks, hopefully, in case they come back this way?
That would be smart.
I'm gonna start looking for a
Kelly.
place to set up camp.
Skelly looks down at the tracks and looks kind of back over to you in confirmation, Zara, and begins to follow them.
Did you tell him to come back when he's done, or is he just... Are we gonna follow... Can you follow him? Is that what you're... Do you know where he is at all times? What... Is he just going to his doom? What is going on?
He is doing what what I told him.
Which is just to go find a thing, and is he gonna report back? Can he talk? Skelly, can you talk?
Skeletons cannot talk.
Oh, I
Well,
thought maybe...
Not
That's
the,
probably for the best, because I
not
told
the
him some
strength
secret
that
stuff the
Skelly
other
is
day.
at.
Skelly
That-
knows the party's secrets.
I wouldn't want Skelly to, like, spewing that stuff right away, you know?
If you tell a secret to an animated skeleton and then you speak with dead on it, can it tell you those secrets?
I would allow it.
Yes.
So would I.
This seems questionable at best. I like it.
Do I have speak with dead? I do not.
No.
I have speak
But
with
whoever
plants.
is at the end of these tracks might. You guys are setting up camp here?
I'm gonna look for a good spot.
Okay.
Away from the tracks.
You look around and there's nothing. It's flat desert. There's no flora. There's no hills. It's flat desert.
I'm gonna go 60 feet to the right of the tracks and dig us a den.
I
Okay.
will help her dig.
Either two separate survivals or one with advantage.
Separate?
Sure. Well,
Hope yours is better.
12. I rolled an 8 again.
I got a 5.
Well, it is better.
So
We're tired, okay? We had a long
Easy.
day.
Isa begins to dig a den, a fairly large den, and Xena sees that and she's like, "Oh, yeah, that's great. I should help with that." And goes over and starts to dig along with Isa, like feet down, arms doing the doggy dig thing, and she's just throwing sand right into Isa's face without even realizing.
That is more helpful.
Keep digging, Isa. We don't have time to talk.
I'm more switch to dig next to her. Fine,
After
I'll use my
a bit
advantage.
of a bit of maneuvering, you do dig a decent enough den. It will at least provide you shelter from the immediate wind.
You still get a more like hip check Xena as I start to dig.
Ugh. What? That is uncalled for.
Zara, do you still have your cloak?
No, that was destroyed in the fire.
Oh, that's right.
Your
I have
fur's
a-
starting to come back. A little bit. At least
Yeah,
the
let's
smell
go with
is
that.
gone.
I don't have anything we could use to make a cover the hole, but I guess we'll have to deal without it.
We'll be fine. Just snuggle up, you know. Big puppy pile, if you will. It is the
Can
no
I
way.
go to the back of the den and I want to carve out a little space that would be for a fire? and then use my sword from the top to try and go down and make a chimney.
You can try.
Yeah. What do you want for that?
Don't think this is a survival maneuver. Let's call it. Look at your sheet here. Let's just call it a straight dexterity roll,
Okay.
because you're being very careful, trying not to collapse that side of the den as you're digging that down.
Oh, that is good. What was that?
No, go ahead.
That is an 18.
18? Yeah. It's almost like you've done this before. And you dig it out perfectly without compromising the integrity of that side of the den wall.
And then I kind of want to like make a mini hole for where the fire would go, so there's a lip, so the fire can't spread out towards us.
Yep, easy
This
enough.
way
to do.
our fire does not have to be out in the open. And I'm more to attempt to build a fire down there to see if it works.
Well, are we able to find twigs and stuff to do that?
There's no fuel around the area.
I will use my
It'll have
sticks.
to either be magical flame or using stuff you have on you.
I will use my sticks and what was left of that pelt to start the fire.
Well, Xena just snaps her fingers and the flame starts.
Or that. Or that.
Once she gathers her stuff together, Xena goes, okay, hold on. and
And it lights up.
That's faster.
I love this. Glorious. I always have a light with me. Oh, that'll
I'm
make
more-
it so much easier to do makeup in the morning on dark days.
I'm more stand there for a second to see if the smoke starts filling the den in.
It does not. It seems to do exactly what you intended to. There's that little exit way for the smoke to billow out, so it's not suffocating you guys when you're trying to sleep. And the way that you formed this area of the den, the heat kind of goes up and radiates off of the walls as they round up to the surface of the desert, and does a pretty decent job of containing that heat within the den as well.
It's not a pretty den, but it's a warm den.
And our fire
Neat.
can't be smothered by flying dragons.
Gross.
It may collapse on us at any moment, but
Yeah, it'll put out the fire when it does. The best part about this fire, you want to go away, just poke the fan.
I mean, I can get out of that. I'll just transform it into a spider and dig my way out.
yeah.
The rest of us are dead. I see how
Nah.
it is.
Xena will Hulk out of it. Anyways,
With that, I guess I will go hunting.
Okay,
Did anyone
give
want to
me
join
that
me?
that survival roll.
Sure, I will go hunting with you.
You go with
Okay.
okay.
Do you want to roll your
Um,
own?
Nope,
Or you want to roll advantage?
you can have advantage.
Okay. That is a 16.
A 16? Okay. While you're out hunting, you don't manage to find any mammals like rabbits, jackrabbits, anything of that sort. You don't seem to find any large reptiles or snakes at this hour of the day. They all seem to be hiding away from the night predators. But what you do find is a hive of beetles, black beetles that are about the size of. Do you guys know how big a loony is?
The heck
I
is
do.
a loony?
Okay.
If you
What
mean Looney
about a-
Tunes.
What about a toonie?
Are these like some like weird Canadian insects that we don't have down here?
I believe Raven is going to get a loony to show you.
what is this? Is this Canadian
Okay.
currency? Is that what you call your money, loonies?
Yes.
Is
Yes.
Oh my god, that
You
was
didn't
awesome.
know that? Well,
Okay,
I mean, I did
that
work
is
on a
about that
currency
size.
exchange,
Seriously?
so-
I was joking.
Okay, so a
No.
$50 size,
Yeah.
a 50
Sure.
cent piece.
Sure. So they're about the size of a loony.
In freedom currency, it's 50 cents.
And there's a whole hive of them, and you know what these beetles are. These are called plague beetles, but then the name is a little bit misleading. They're only called plague beetles because they tend to just decimate any sort of crops or anything that they come across. But what you also know about these things is they are very juicy and very tasty, and you just found a whole hive of them. So if you have a way to collect them, you can grab them and take them back to the camp, and that can be your dinner.
How big is the opening on the water skin?
Not very big.
I didn't think so. It was a
About-
long shot.
The size of a quarter, I would say.
Okay. It's not quite big enough.
Cloth.
I have a stone box with a broken lock.
Yeah, I mean, if you're quick enough, you could probably scoop a whole lot of these things into the box.
Well, I'll try and do. Unless Derek said something better.
Kill him. Do like. Bah.
I have nothing better on that idea.
Alright, I'm gonna try and stuff them in my box.
Okay. So there are a couple different ways that you can go about this. The way that the hive looks, for context, is kind of like the hill of a desert ant, where it's built up a bit,
Okay.
and I think termites make a similar type of hive, where it has a hole at the top and smaller holes all throughout it, and that kind of marks the entrance of the hive, and it goes deeper underground. So you could try to just scoop some of that into the box, or you could use the box like a shovel itself and just kind of scoop it down into the dirt, or just try and pick off the beetles individually. Your choice of how you're going to go about this.
With what I know
No.
about these beetles, they tend to attack when you mess with the hive. It is
Not really.
dangerous.
They aren't the type of beetle that, I mean, they'll bite you, but they aren't really going to do anything, especially not to a gnoll. They are, for the most part, herbivores, so they're not made for attacking someone such as yourself.
I would like to dig down to where I'm guessing the rest of the hive is, and I'll try a few different spots if I have to try to access the main part of the hive, and then I'll scoop that with the box.
Okay. Easy enough to do. You, like every gnoll knows the basics about these creatures. They're very tasty and sought after snack back in the settlement. So you can make an educated guess as to the size of the hive, and you find a spot, and you dig down, and you do break free into a tunnel structure below, where you find hundreds of these things.
Scoop them up.
So give me a percentile roll, and we'll see how many you get.
That is a 94.
A 94.
Need that for travel or night watch.
You manage to capture 141 of these little beetles.
Alright.
And you'd eat about 25 of them will equal a meal, essentially.
Okay. So I'm going to then close the box and kind of act like, probably stick my dagger through the hole where you put the lock through, just kind of secure it, and carry that back to camp.
Easy enough to do. Is anyone doing anything else while they are off hunting?
Zara's gonna take a seat and just hold out her hand and cast Druidcraft. And I would like to use it to know what the weather will be like in the location for the next 24 hours.
Okay, you can absolutely do that. Let's see. I believe it gives information as to the exact weather. Yes, it does. Okay. Let's find out. Ooh, okay. So, as you look at your hand and focus on it and use your Druidcraft ability, manifesting in your hand is a cloud that quickly turns dark, but not dark gray, more like a dark brown almost. And it looks like it's picking up sand. And it's whirling about really quickly within the palm of your hand. So you know that there's likely a heavy sandstorm in this specific area within the next 24 hours.
Wonderful. We need to move as soon as possible.
Why's that?
Sometime within the next 24 hours, there is going to be a very strong sandstorm coming through this area.
Oh, there's always sandstorms coming and going. I'm sure we'll be fine.
We're underground at the moment,
Exactly.
surrounded by sand in a
Yes.
hole that you dug.
Yes.
I
Those
see
are
where
all
you're
facts.
going with this idea.
I can get out. I can get out of being buried alive. Can you?
Oh, that's what you're. Right. I thought you were just stating obvious things that were going on, but you were leading up to something. Yes. We'll be fine.
I mean, if we get caught in a sandstorm, I've got something that might help.
What's that?
Oh, it's like this magical dome that protects you from the elements and whatnot. But it's also magic, so things out there might be attracted to it.
But we would be safe, is what you're saying.
Until things out there that are attracted to it
Can you set
try
your dome
to
up
pop
under
it
the
or
burrow?
in here.
Yeah.
I mean, I could, but I don't know if I see the need to, other than it's warm. But
Well, that might hide it from the things that you're talking about, the magic eating things. They didn't come after us when we were in the holes before.
None of us
I
are
mean, do
casting
you want
magic
me
either.
to?
True. Very true.
Let's save it for now.
Okay.
And if it looks like at any point in time this is going to be a dangerous situation for us to stay underground, then we can go into your dome.
It does take time for me to cast it. It's not
How
like
long?
we're 10 minutes.
Oh, that's not long.
So while we keep watch, we'll keep an eye out for the storm. If we see it coming, we wake you up.
Sounds
Hopefully
like
I'll
a
have it.
plan.
Of course, if you're talking about being buried alive, it doesn't stop you from being buried, because then when it pops, all the sand just.
I would
How
take it that we
long-
go up to the surface in order to do
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
How long does it last then?
Oh, about a night's rest.
So-
A long
Buck,
time.
So 8 hours.
You said it's
Yeah.
fairly flat outside, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So we'll see a storm coming from a while off, so we'll have time to prepare if we notice it.
Yes.
We're good diggers. We could dig ourselves out.
At least before it pops,
Oh,
we'd have
speak
time
for
to at least
yourself.
plan our way out.
Don't worry, little one. I'll take you with me.
Worst
Just
come-
cling to my
Okay.
fur.
if worst comes to worst, I will change into a giant spider and dig us out.
It's really cool. Have you seen it?
At the very least, it'd give us
Yeah, I don't think cool was the right classification for what it was, but
You're right. Glorious is better.
oh god.
It's a glorious spider.
You're with the wrong group, Yithix.
But yes, good on you. She heartily pats you on the back. Izix.
I think that would come in handy. Oh, Xena, I brought us
Yes.
bugs. Can you cook them?
Glorious. Yes, definitely. Shishka beetles, anybody? I know we have shish kebabs like all the time, but really there's very limited options here. I could also do a beetle soup maybe if we have some water.
I'd like to imagine when I built the little shelf thing out to keep the fire contained, there's enough room to shove sticks into it to roast things.
Yeah, you'd have planned accordingly.
And like normal, I give Xena the remainder of the good berries that nobody's eaten.
Ah, thank you. Okay, we'll do both. We'll do a beetle soup with a shishka beetle appetizer. Yes. All right. She takes out what's left of her spices. I rolled to see how much spices I might have left, and I still have some left. If DM allows it.
Yeah, I don't see why not.
So she'll start wagging her tail, moving around, and humming to herself, and doing her cooking dance.
Here, I'll help you make the kebabs.
You gotta dance with it. Ready? Follow my rhythm.
Can
She
I roll
starts
with
bopping.
all the rhythm, or if I completely off.
Both of you give me performance rolls.
Okay. Not
No,
as good as her
-2?
usual.
But I got a 15 total.
13, 14,
That's why -2.
17.
17. Okay. Xena, you're beautiful as always. You're dancing around as you're preparing this meal. I mean, it is not as big of an extravagant meal as you're used to, so I mean, your dance moves are as limited as the food you're preparing, but it's still gorgeous. Isa, you're trying your best to stay in tune with Xena and keeping pace with her, but it's difficult. You're not really made for this kind of dancing. It's not your style.
I'm
You
like
did
3
roll
seconds
high.
behind.
Yeah, you did roll high, but you do still have a -2. So, I mean, by Gnoll standards, it's good.
Like she does
She's-
something, and I have a few seconds to try to figure out what she did, and then try to copy it and fail.
Yep.
She's trying to give you directions of like, no. You want to skewer them this way, not that. Don't do the flip side.
How many
get the-
things we forgot?
If you do it this way, you keep the little brains intact. It gives that little extra juice squish.
I'm cooking with one of the kebabs.
No. There's an art to this. An art.
We're squishing with the kebab.
Dinner is served.
Prepare and cook your meal. And I assume everyone is partaking? Yes, everyone is
Yes.
nodding their heads. That is yes. Okay.
I'm packing extra to use because he needs to bulk up.
So,
Ow.
with a decent enough roll on the preparation of the food and a decent enough roll on the survival to find this particular food, for the next 24 hours, all of you can add a +1 to your constitution saves.
Yay.
Ooh, yay.
Oh, didn't mean to click that.
Yes, you did,
And
don't lie.
these beetles in particular are quite a delicacy to the Gnolls. They're kind of like a savory candy almost, and when you bite into it, it gives a very, very satisfying crunch as you crush the carapace that they have on their backs and they hide their wings under. Any normal creature wouldn't even be able to bite into these things. It would be like eating rocks for them. But your teeth and your jaws are made for crushing bone, so it's not a problem for you guys. Once you get through that shell, it is delicious, warm, a little bit spicy, and very savory when they burst in your mouth. Very tasty.
And how many beals would you say I have left after we feed everyone here?
Well, what did I say? It was 25 for a meal, and
They're all
you are
gone.
guaranteed to
25.
find a meal for each
So I have about
person.
16 left.
Oh, okay.
And said +1 con.
16 left for
Nope.
snacks.
On the road snacks, yeah. So Xena will ask if it's all right with you if she takes those leftover beetles and she's gonna roast them so that they're like, like roasted peanuts. She's gonna like salt them and roast them so they're like that little crispy cooked little on the road snacks for you.
I'm
And
also,
hand you the bag back.
I'm also going to stick the stone box open next to, kind of close to the fireplace, so the whole box could warm, not to the point where it gets hot. I want to kind of find that spot that just stays warm in general.
Yeah, like think warm nuts, you know?
Yeah.
Like warm
That way, if
peoples.
anyone during watches, they get hangry, they can, have a little snack.
A little salty warm snack.
Now I'm hungry. So, is there anything that anyone else is doing before we take our first watch?
Not that I can think of.
Okay, so who is taking that first watch?
Nope.
Either will, because Zerix
Take
not.
second.
Okay, so as the rest of the group cuddles up in your little den to go to sleep for the night, Isa, it is up to you to handle first watch.
Since we were talking about a sandstorm, I'm going to do it off perception, not my usual athletics.
Okay.
I want to keep an eye out for that storm. Ooh, that's pretty good though. 22.
22, that is very good.
And the 100 is a 58.
22 and 58. Okay. So the first about an hour and a half or so of your watch goes by very uneventful. It's a flat area, so you'd be able to see anything that approaches you from quite a distance away, and nothing really does. There are a few predators roaming around in the desert you can see silhouettes of off on the horizon, but they're just critters doing what critters do, looking for their own dinner and taking it back to their own dens and their families if they have them. And it's quite calm and quite relaxing for a while. And as you go into the last quarter of your watch, you spot something that looks like a small lizard, about 6 inches in length, and it's skittering across the surface of the desert towards your encampment. And it's to the west of your camp, and you're currently stationed more to the north. You see it when it's about 80 feet away, and it kind of skitters forward 5 feet and then stops and looks around, and skitters forward another 5 feet and stops and looks around.
Does it look like there's anything skittering behind it? Like there's more of them, or is it just the one?
Give me a perception check.
16.
16. You see some more movement from something that is likely another one of these small lizards, about 60, 70 feet behind this one, but it doesn't look like it's going in the direction of your camp.
I'm gonna pull out my dagger and I'm gonna move to the closest edge of the camp towards this thing.
Okay.
I'll try and do it stealthily. That's probably
Okay,
gonna
give
go
me
well
that
for me.
stealth roll.
At disadvantage, that's an 11.
11. Let's see. What is this thing's perception? Yeah, okay. It stops when you begin to approach that side of the camp, and it seems to look directly at you, and
So-
it just like freezes in place.
I'm gonna squat down, and I'm just gonna sit there, still as I can.
Okay.
I kind of have my hand on the hilt of my dagger while I'm
So
doing
you're
that.
sitting there, and this lizard is also just standing there, unmoving, looking directly at you, just waiting and waiting. A minute goes by, another minute goes by, and by like the 6th or 7th minute, your legs are starting to cramp up, and it's getting real uncomfortable.
How far away is it?
At the moment, it's about 45 feet away from you.
I want to try to can't move that fast. I'm more trying to chase it down and stab it. Looks like a good
Okay.
meal.
Okay. Let's see.
I'm only gonna go so far from the camp if it gets ahead of me. But
Give me a dexterity check. Athletics, actually. Give me athletics.
athletics. So that's a natural 20 for 27.
And your movement speed is what?
30 feet.
30 feet? Ooh, not
Yeah.
quite enough. You charge forward, lunging at this thing, and very, very quickly you close the gap by about 20 feet. But by the time you get to that distance from it, it realizes that this is trouble, and it turns around and jumps, and wings spread out from its back as it flaps them and begins to fly off
I want
at
to
a pretty fast speed.
throw
Oh,
my
officially got
dagger
one.
to see if I can't get the wing.
Okay, are you throwing your dagger? Because it is up in the air now and it's moving quite fast.
I am
so you
throwing
wouldn't
the
be able
dagger.
to reach it with your hand. So give me that attack roll at disadvantage.
Figured as much. At disadvantage, that's a 15.
15. Okay. You hurl your dagger at this thing, and it... Yes, it does. Okay. It kind of looks back over its shoulder as it's flying away. And as your dagger would have made contact with it, instead, it hits a barrier that lights up quite briefly, a magical barrier. And the dagger bounces off of it, falls to the sand, and this flying lizard makes its getaway.
I'm sad. I'm gonna go pick up my dagger and go back to my spot I was sitting at. It looked like a tasty meal.
And the rest of your watch is uneventful.
So I will go wake up Xena for the next watch.
No. Time? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. See anything?
Just a little flying lizard thingy. I tried to catch it so we could eat it, but it flew away.
Flying lizard.
Did it look like a baby dragon? Or what I would assume baby dragon looks like?
Have you seen a
was-
baby dragon?
Difficult to tell from that distance.
Could have been. It also could have just been a flying lizard. Either way,
I will
it got
keep
away.
an eye out for this flying, possibly baby dragon. Maybe it will lead us back to its mother.
It did make a magic barrier, so you might be a baby dragon. Did magic.
Good night.
No, I'm gonna go to sleep. I'm probably gonna find my way over to Zara when I go to lay down.
I got this.
And as per Iza's normal ritual, she ends up kicking someone in the face on her way to lay down.
Why do I have a feeling Xena's not going to return until she hunts down this baby dragon or finds the mother?
And we lost Xena. Bye.
The last thing you said to her before you left her on her watch was, "There's a baby dragon."
And it looked tasty.
She wouldn't leave her group unless, there was really strong evidence towards it.
Unless there was glory to be had.
I also did not tell her what direction it ran off in.
That's not better.
So I'm going to roll. It's not my strongest, but it's okay. Survival, because I'm looking at the description of survival, and it involves like predicting the weather and also hunting game and stuff like that, following tracks. So that way she's looking for the frickin' lizard and watching out for sandstorms and shit. So it seems
Okay.
to qualify. Okay, it's not bad. Not great, not bad. 14 for
14.
survival, and
Okay.
then not so great on the percentile roll.
God, don't do it. Don't do it.
That's a 25.
25? Okay, so an elder dragon shows up.
Glorious!
You can't use the fire excuse this time, just the smoke.
25.
25.
Okay.
Unfortunately, you hate to see it.
Alright.
But we have advantage this time because he seems really tired from taking care of 9 different baby dragons.
Yeah. He's like, was not
Exhausted.
anticipating motherhood be this bad.
We're not worried that the fact that that this encounter with that dragon only happened a couple days ago and it already has 9 babies.
Nah, it's fine. Don't worry about that.
Which implies there's
rune
another
worked
dragon
Very
nearby.
well.
The super
somehow,
fertile rune.
yeah, somehow they can like crazy uber spawn a dragon like they're goblins.
Yep.
I don't
We've
want
got-
dragons breeding
we've-
like rabbits.
Matriarch's gonna love that.
We've got plenty of time to tell Zael about the impending doom.
My charts did not account for that combination of numbers for some reason. So give me a second.
You missed something on your charts. Oh
I
no.
apparently did. I'm gonna
Re-roll your
rectify
percentile.
that
Yes,
later.
now we have to reroll the
No.
Yeah,
percentiles.
I'm sorry.
Those are rolls.
I will re-roll. I apologize.
Nope,
but-
I got it covered.
A
Don't you
random
worry.
deck.
I actually did, and I got a 26. How funny is that?
A random deck just falls out of the sky.
Yeah, you don't have a knowledge deck of many things. We have to contend with that.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, that was
just-
funny. It's like, yeah, I'll roll again. 26.
Oh, wait,
Fuck you.
hold
Fuck
on.
you.
Reminder.
Oh,
I don't know if Fox remembered this or not, but on Saturday night we did have a $175 donation.
Sure did. We sure did.
it
I haven't
carries
forgotten.
over.
Don't you worry.
That was okay.
Just wait till tomorrow when everybody somebody from the Tuesday game has to draw a card from the deck. And then on Saturday as well.
Oh, so both have to draw from deck and everybody gets a raccoon
Everybody
item?
gets a raccoon item, and I made the rule for the games that I'm DMing that somebody from each one of those other games, because it was the special Christmas episode, has to draw from the deck.
I was sad that the game I'm in that has the deck of many things is the Tuesday one because Amelia wants nothing to do with it, but I want to pull a card.
Nobody should ever want anything to do with it.
Well,
Ever.
I will take that as you volunteering to pull the card tomorrow.
Sure,
Okay.
I'll volunteer for that.
All right.
Okay,
Everyone
so
else is
What
here,
could
so yeah.
possibly go wrong?
I will.
Unless
I will
Browder
say,
really wants it, because it was his donation, so if he's there and he wants it, I'll give it to him.
I will say Snit in my shop game has a deck of many things and has drawn over 12 cards from it.
As you should.
Yes.
as you should.
As the bearer of the
Ever.
deck of many things, you must draw as much as possible.
I feel like it should be like a check every morning to see if you draw a card.
There was
Wisdom
one
check.
Watch
session
for
I,
tickles.
Yeah,
there was
because
one session I drew 5.
yeah, because I have the rule for the deck that if you ignore it, the urge starts to grow inside of you to draw from the deck.
Yes, I experienced that with Zael a couple times where she was hiding it from everyone and trying to ignore it. But certain things came up every once in a while where you're like whispering me on Discord during the game, like, hey, you want to do this.
'Cause it
you feel like you should do this.
Because since
Well,
since it's a well-known item of chaos, it prevents people from just like, oh, I just lock it away and do nothing with it for the rest of the campaign. Like,
Yeah.
nah, you're gonna draw.
I think that's a good rule. I think Amelia would be like Zael, though, trying to hide it from everyone. Like, nope, this doesn't exist.
So, Xena, you're pacing around the camp for quite a while, about an hour, kind of half looking at the horizon, half looking around for little lizard tracks or any sign of baby dragons. So you don't notice it at first, but when you do your next lap of the camp, you see quite alarmingly close to you, actually, 4 metallic creatures that seem to have crept up on you. And they're a decent size, about 3 to 4 feet in height. And they appear to be like a large brass sphere with 4 legs jutting out from them. And they have some sort of, it almost looks like a funnel of some kind right underneath the sphere in the center of their bodies pointing down. And as soon as you notice them, they all seem to notice you at the same time. Like they were equally as distracted as you were. And now you're standing there face to face with these things, and they're all tensed up, and they don't have eyes or faces or anything, so it's hard to tell if they're looking at you, but they definitely feel your presence. And suddenly, one of these metallic creatures, the center one of the group, begins to charge towards you. And I'm going to need everybody to roll initiative as we move to the map.
You are in the presence of Xena. I demand you halt.
Horrible.
Intimidation? Can I roll?
Sure, you can give me intimidation.
And she'll take her axe out, and she's using a very large booming voice.
Question is it enough boom to wake everyone
Probably
up?
not enough. But it might be. It's quite booming. I mean, you know how loud she gets.
I mean, Isa didn't wake up to an elder dragon.
Fair. 16 for intimidation.
16 for intimidation. Okay. Let's see. Look at their sheets real quick. They seem unfazed.
I see wisdom is not your strong suit. Hey, everybody! And I'll start kind of clanging on the ground and on my armor to try to. I'll clang on my armor to try to get people up, make a noise.
Okay. These things. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna do separate initiative for all of them.
Initiative.
There's not very many. It's that to their initiative. Oh, I have one of them on there twice. This guy goes on there. Okay. That guy got terrible initiative. That guy got even worse initiative. That one's decent. Okay. So, looks like you're at the top of the order, Xena.
All right.
Just change the music to be appropriate here.
So, seeing them rudely not pay any attention to my hail stop message, she is going to go into a rage. And I already rolled for my wild magic effect, and I got a 1. So it's shadowy tendrils all of a sudden lash out from amongst Xena's body. And each creature of my choice that I can see within 30 feet must succeed on a Constitution saving throw or take 1d12 necrotic damage.
Very nice.
I also gain 1d12 temporary hit points.
Nice.
You're channeling your Eldritch Horror today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Xena is Eldritch Horror time, so I like to picture it as like her eyes glow gold and these golden tentacles with it's like goldish shadow, like just gold on the edges but shadowy
Yeah.
for her little effect.
Cthulhu. Target.
Still little
Yeah.
bits of
Yeah.
glitter, because always glitter. Yeah. So, and they're very graceful tentacles too. You notice that.
The accent, the dancing.
And I'm going to charge forward. Yeah. I wish I could give an axe to each of the tentacles. Like
Right?
here. That would be
Your
just
sense
awesome.
isn't awake yet, but you hear retching in the background.
I will move in front of this one, the closest one,
Okay.
and start chopping away. Get my
Swing away,
actions up.
Meryl.
Okay, that's a good hit. 15, 16, 23 to hit.
23 does hit.
And make a Constitution saving throw for me.
Constitution
For the
saving
tentacles.
throw. That is a 20.
Let me see what the save is for this. Saving throw. I'm guessing it's just against my. Do I even have? I don't think I have a spell DC. So how would I figure out what my DC is for this?
What's the barbarian's main stat? Is it
It's
con?
strength.
Strength. So
yeah.
I would say 8 plus proficiency plus strength mod. is
Okay.
the-
So 8 plus proficiency, 8, 9, 10, 11. Plus strength mod?
Yep.
11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
16, and he rolled a 20, or it
Yeah,
rolled a
so
20.
he's fine. So he saves from that this time. But he does take 12 points of slashing damage for my first hit.
Okay.
And she's going to bring in the tentacles, like they're like, and do a spin and pirouette and slash, and then flare the tentacles back out, like they're doing spirit fingers, but with tentacles.
Nice.
And that will be, ooh, not good. This is not probably going to hit 8. 14.
14 does not hit, I'm afraid.
She's not used to the tentacles. She's still getting used to the extra appendages here, so threw her off a little bit. She's like, oh, this is really cool. Distraction. And that will pass priority.
Okay. And let's see. The attack that you did on it, was that using your weapon or was it using your claws?
It was using my weapon.
Okay.
Do I notice anything about it? My great
Yes.
axe.
Yes. So when you make contact with this creature with your great axe, from that like funnel-like appendage that's beneath the main sphere of this thing's body, you see a bit of a blue glow, and you hear the sound of wind being sucked into it, like it's inhaling, and the silhouette of your axe seems to blur for just a moment, and you see a crack form in the edge of its blade, and that axe for the moment has a -1 to damage rolls.
Okay.
Little a-holes.
I love creatures that damage weapons. So it is this guy's turn. He well, he doesn't know about anyone else yet because you're all still in the den, so march right up to Xena here.
Good thing I can tank for once.
Yeah. Bring it.
And it is going to here, let me enlarge these things too so you guys can see what they are. It's Shift Z, right? To make it big.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what they look like.
Whoa, crazy.
So it is going to rear up on 2 of its legs and point that funnel-like appendage directly at you, Xena. And similar to that other one, when you hit it with the axe, it is going to begin sucking in air and make an attack roll against you. Does a dirty 20 hit?
Yes.
Okay. Very much damage. Oh, actually, that was almost max damage. 9 force damage.
Force damage?
Force damage, yeah.
Okay, so I take all of it.
And I need you to make a dexterity saving throw for me, please.
Okay. So I get advantage on dexterity. Let's see, advantage on dex against effects that you can see while not blinded, deafened, or incapacitated. So I believe this counts.
I would say so, yeah.
Nat 20
Nat 20,
for
okay.
a total of 21.
You are fine from its very fun secondary effect.
Whew. I don't know if I'd find it fun.
It will make a second attack against you, though. I don't think that one's gonna hit. That is a 15.
No. Ching! On my
You were
arm.
prepared for it this time and managed to dodge out of the way. That brings us to Iza. Iza, what is your passive perception?
14?
14? Okay, you do indeed hear the kerfuffle outside.
But I
and
still can't hear
awaken.
an elder dragon.
You were very tired that night.
I was. It was exhausting. The more I probably take a step out to try and orient myself, I don't think I can get close to.
Well, you do use half your movement to stand up from being asleep.
True. I can only go like another 10 feet. So we'll move that 10 feet out. And then we will. I don't like her being out there by herself. We will dash so I can move up next to her.
Okay.
There. Let's see what my bonus actions say. You take an attack action, so I can't do that one. Yep, no, I can't do either of those bonus actions. So that'll be the end of my turn.
All right. Ixis, what is your passive perception?
That would be 11, sir.
11. Okay. You are not awoken with just your passive perception, but you can give me a perception check.
Oh, goody. It's a +1. Hey! 14 on the die, so 50.
There you go. That's the number you needed. So you are awoken, not by the kerfuffle outside, but rather by Iza waking up and clambering outside of the den.
I should have woken everyone else up. You didn't think of it. Just like fight.
I'll I'll stand up, peek my head out, and then start yelping.
That's fair.
Well, my friends are fighting. Friends?
And the
Question mark? Not sure yet.
The yelping will lower the wake up DC for the rest of you, so it helps.
Carried objects don't get to complain.
But you do indeed see two of your acquaintances engaged in some sort of combat with metallic creatures, and there seems to be from this distance, let's see, where's that? Yeah, you can see the other ones as well.
I'm gonna hold my action until maybe they're in a tighter cluster.
Okay. So that will then bring us to that one. That one is right in front of Xena. Yes, right in front of Xena. And it is going to follow suit with the other one and make a couple attacks against you.
And I will make one of them at disadvantage. With
Okay.
protection.
Do you want that to be the one that I just rolled or the next one? I haven't called out the numbers yet, so it's your choice.
Nice, let it know. Next one.
Next one, okay. So on this one, does an 18 hit you, Xena?
Yes.
Okay, that will be... That is minimum damage, 3 force damage,
okay,
and a dexterity save if you would.
We still had that temporary, because it was still that same day that we got that
Yes.
bonus, right?
Yeah, that
Okay.
goes away at the conclusion of a long rest. So-
Okay. So I haven't even eaten in my own hit points yet. What did you say was the last thing you said? Sorry.
Dexterity save from you.
Oh, dex save. Okay. With advantage. That'll be a dirty 20.
You are fine. And for its second attack at disadvantage, that is a 2 on both of those. So a 9 will not hit you.
Nope.
As Iza interjects and bullies this poor creature as she does.
Oh,
It's just a shield bully. Tears taught her well.
so when that second one came close to me, I think it needs to make a Constitution
yes.
saving throw.
That's right. It rolled a 5.
A 5, so yeah, it's gonna take 1d12 necrotic damage, 10 necrotic damage,
10 necrotic damage.
and I gain 10 temporary hit points.
Nice.
Nice.
So that one is not looking good already. It's kind of wobbling and trembling, and a couple of its legs look a bit looser than they should.
As the tentacles lash out.
Zara, what is your passive perception?
That would be 14.
14, you are awoken, both by the battle outside and the yelping of your young companion.
Of course. All right, clamber my ass outside of the hole. Myself about right there. What do I got? Not much. All right, I am going to cast Produce Flame and throw a bolt of fire at this one.
Okay.
Plus 7, that will be 25.
25 will hit.
Oh, max damage, so 16 fire damage.
16 fire damage. Very nice.
And I believe that's
Do math here.
all I can do at the moment.
That was a very good hit on that one.
Actually, I will use a bonus action and cast Healing Word on Xena at level 1. That's gonna be, oh wow, a whole whopping 1 HP. So
I don't need it. I have temporary hit points.
Oh.
You let out that healing word, and Xena's looking as grand as she always was.
Yeah,
Oh, well.
I got like not a scratch on me. I just healed 10 temporary hit points from my necrotic attack too.
I don't know that.
She feels like a tickle, like, oh, Zara energy.
The middle of the night.
But thank you.
Zara just woke up.
Middle of the night, you're like I just woke up. You're surrounded by enemies. I assume they hit you. So, oh well. Good thing I didn't upcast it.
Yes.
Anything else from you, Zara?
Nope, that'll be it.
That will bring us to the one you just threw some fire at. What kind of movement do these guys have? Okay. That one is going to move all the way down here, skittering across the sand. But that is all it can do. Xerax, what is your passive perception?
16.
Perceptive one of the group. Yeah, you hear and see everything. Well, you don't see everything, you're in a den, but you hear everything.
You never know it. Well, I don't have any weapons I have to worry about grabbing, so that's an upside. Half movement to stand. It's bonus action to double move, right?
It is an action to dash unless you
Yeah.
have something like cunning action that makes it a bonus action.
So I will be able to get there on my turn and do nothing else, but I'm there.
Okay. That will bring us to this one, who, let's see, has just enough movement to get right down over here. And it's going to make a couple attacks against you.
That'll
Xerax.
set off my held reaction.
That's a good point. It will. It will indeed.
I would like to shatter.
Okay.
Let's see here. It is. Bam. Bam.
Good placement.
Drop it in the chat.
Let's see, Constitution save. Okay.
And they have disadvantage on it unless they have something that otherwise negates it, because they're constructs. or because they're made of
first one.
inorganic material.
First one got a 15, which I believe is a fail.
Yes,
Second one, however, got a 19.
that is not a fail.
And third one got an 18.
That is not a fail.
But I believe they all will be taking some damage from this regardless.
Oh, I do hope so.
Let's see.
That's going to be 16 points of thunder damage at full. The two that saved will
Very nice.
take half.
So that one takes that. This one here, even though it saved, that was more than enough, and that shatter just blows it into pieces. And then this one here takes that much. All right. Got rid of one of them. And oh right, that was a held action, so this guy still has a turn.
Mm-hmm.
And he is going to make 2 attacks against you, Zarex. Remember, you were sleeping, so you do not have your armor on. That is a 19 to hit.
Yep.
Minimum damage, that is 3 force damage. But I do need a dexterity save from you.
Best thing I've rolled all night. 21.
21, all right, you're fine. Second attack. Yeah, oh, that one actually may not hit. 11 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
I love unarmored people. The only way my monsters can actually hit them. That's 4 force damage. And another dexterity save, please.
Let's try putting that in the tray. There we go. 21.
You're fine.
Isn't your unarmored 10 plus your dex?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep, it sure is.
It's a lot of things that just get answered there.
I thought the ranger would have higher dex, then remembered you're a strength ranger.
Yep.
Strength Ranger.
Oh, DM, real quick. I think you need to add. I think I did this ability wrong. Sorry, it's new. I think we need to add the 10 hit points back to that enemy, because it says each creature of your choice that you can see within 30 feet must succeed a Constitution saving throw, but it doesn't say that it's as they enter my space. I think it's on my turn, just whoever's in 30 feet of me at that time.
Gotcha.
So, and I don't think that second one was within 30 feet of me on my turn. So it was just the one. So I think we
Gotcha.
need to give 10. It was 10. I remember that. 10 back to him, and I'll take the 10 temporary away from me.
So that one that exploded.
Sorry. I want to be fair, though.
Did still explode, actually.
Oh,
That
okay.
was still enough damage.
I was about to say, you took a kill away from Yexus.
I'm sorry.
He has so very little.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
He
wait,
still
no, that one
killed him.
saved. That one saved, didn't it? It was the top
It
one
did.
that failed. So he almost exploded, but didn't quite.
Oh, Yexus, I'm sorry.
It's very, very close to exploding, though.
One day he'll become an adult.
I'm
One
sorry.
All right. That does bring us round back to you, Xena.
Oh, okay. Well, now I can do it. So might as well get that out of the way first. The tentacles will lash out to all 3 of them, because I think all 3 of them are within 30 feet of me.
Yep.
And they have to, all 3 have to make the save.
Top one got a nat 1, so he definitely failed.
Oh.
Middle one rolled an 18. Bottom one rolled a 16.
Okay, my DC was 16, so
Okay.
I guess those 2 save.
Yep.
And then, so 1 fails. So the one that fails is going to take 8 necrotic damage, and I heal 8 temporary hit
necrotic.
points.
Nice. It's looking real bad. Like that one that exploded and then somehow came back to life is currently looking bad, like real bad, but the one you just damaged looks even worse. Like you sneeze on this thing and it's just gonna fall apart.
And I'm going to just. Can I put my axe back as a free action, or do I have to drop it?
You can put it back. You just can't draw another weapon after putting it back.
Okay, I'm gonna put it back because I saw that it was hurting my beautiful axe, and I'm just gonna bare my teeth and show my claws and just go to town
Okay.
on the one that I started engaging with, since that's kind of my main target. So I'm going to do a jaw attack first, which, if I'm not sure if I have the same. Let me make sure the info that I have in D20 is accurate to the way you set it up, HB. I have it's like a, if it hits, it does 1d6 plus your strength modifier for jaw attack. Is that
Let's see,
correct?
let me bring up
Strength
the
or
thing
dex.
here. Yeah. So the bite for the gnoll.
Mm-hmm.
The bite is strength or dex, your choice, and does 1d6, and the claws are also strength or dex and do 1d10.
Oh, the claws are 1d10?
Yup.
Oh, I have it as 1d4.
Oh,
Mm-mm.
Okay.
What
Ew,
1d4 is like the standard claw damage, and I think that's a load of BS, so I made it 1d10.
Okay, well then, since claws are stronger and she would probably know that about herself, she'll take a swipe with her claws then instead.
Okay.
That'll be 18 to hit.
An 18 will not hit, I'm afraid.
Okay. Other claw swipe. Natural 20 for a
That
total of
certainly will.
28.
That will absolutely
Wonderful.
hit.
Are we doing dirty?
Brutal.
Brutal
Brutal
crits, yep.
critical?
So it is max damage, and then roll the damage die again on top of it.
Okay, so that'd be a D10. Okay. So max die, so 10 plus I rolled a 7, so 17 plus my strength mod, right? Okay, 17,
Yes, yep.
18, 19, 20, 25 points of slashing damage.
25, even if it was at full health, that still would have obliterated it. You tear this thing to shreds. I think it was this one right here. That was the one you were attacking right off the bat.
The one that was right in front of me, directly in front of me. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you rip its legs from its body, and you dig your claws into the sphere that is its abdomen, if it had biology, and you just tear it apart.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna move over to here. And then I'm just gonna kind of like flare up, and I'm gonna do my bonus action of storm aura for the desert.
Okay.
And I gain a, let's see. Hold on, I'm gonna move back actually 5, 10, 5, 10. So 10 feet aura effect. And they take 3 fire damage each. So anyone within 10 feet of my aura takes 3 fire damage right now, as the tentacles and myself just flare with flames.
Okay, and that one here, you did leave its threat range, so it is going to take an opportunity attack.
Go
against
for it.
you.
Bring it!
That is a 17 to hit.
That hits.
That is 4 force damage.
Okay.
And a dexterity save, please.
Got it. Okay, that would be a dirty 20 again. I'm no joke. My dice are hot today.
You are perfectly fine. I even bumped up the DC of that ability. You guys are still knocking it out of the park.
Rolling really, the advantage on dex is saving me.
All right. Anything else on your turn, Xena?
No, I think I'll stop there. The past priority.
This guy, the one right in front of Iza, is gonna attack Iza because he doesn't want opportunity attacks taken against him. So 2 attacks against you, Iza. First one is 21 to hit.
that'll hit.
I gotta stop rolling minimum damage. That is going to be 3 force damage.
Okay.
And a dexterity save if you would.
Okay, and this is a harmful effect that I can see, correct?
Yes.
Okay, because then with the Shield Master feat, I have a dodge that allows me to add my Shield's AC bonus, which is currently 1, to any dexterity save I make against this. Oh, it's targeting only me. That's the rule.
It is certainly targeting only you.
Okay. Well, that's not gonna matter. 8.
8. Ooh, okay. Now we go on to the fun stuff. So, you have a choice to make here. As this thing rears up and lunges at you with that funnel-like appendage, and you feel it slam into your chest and begin to dig into you. And you can choose to take whatever it is that's about to happen to you, or you can interpose your armor between you and this creature and have your armor take the brunt of whatever's about to happen.
Even though I'm not wearing my armor.
Oh, that's right, you aren't. Okay, so you don't have a choice to make. It's just going to do bad things to you.
Yes.
Okay, so that funnel-like appendage digs into your chest, and you feel it begin to spin, like it's drilling into you and tearing through your flesh. And when it pulls back, it pulls a chunk of you with it and leaves a large, gaping wound right in the middle of your chest. And at the end of every turn, until that is fixed somehow, you are going to take some significant damage.
Okay.
Throw some sand in it.
Yeah, throw some sand in it. You'll be fine.
Yep.
and
Shake it off.
That was just its first attack, so it's going to try and do that again.
Mm-hmm.
Does a 24 hit? That is going to be 7 force damage, and another dexterity saving throw, please.
Let's use a different die. Let's use the big one. That's better. So that's going to be a 17.
A 17? Okay. You see it coming this time, and you dodge out of the way, thankfully.
No.
But it is your turn now.
This hurts. I'm not using
It
my
does.
sword. I'm going to use my claw.
You are gushing blood.
I am going to attack it with a claw attack.
Okay.
How's this one looking? Is it looking kind of
It's
okay?
looking real bad.
Okay. We'll just do a claw attack. Straight attack. For a total of 22.
22 will just hit.
And that is a D10. Keep it rolling well for a D10. That's good. So that's 11 poison
11,
damage.
You tear it to shreds. It had 1 HP left.
Awesome.
It's just a pile of bent metal rods and springs by the time you're done with it.
Snarling, probably in a little bit of pain. I'm gonna go claw attack against this one, and I'm gonna make it a trip attack.
Okay.
So let's see if I hit it to start with. Oh, might be helpful if I roll a d20. Probably not, because that's a 21.
A 21 will also just hit it.
Oh, okay. So I need a strength saving throw.
Strength saving throw.
It takes
11.
6 points poison. 11 fails, so it's going to be knocked prone.
Okay.
I am then.
Prone marker. There it is.
I technically got the effects of a short rest, right?
Yeah. Rules is written, for some reason you cannot take short rests during a long rest. I think that's dumb. I think if you're
Oh.
asleep for an hour, you get a short rest.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
Yeah, it's a balance thing, but I think it's dumb.
He also
Okay.
like sat and ate and relaxed
Yeah.
before we went down.
Yeah.
So yes.
The first thing I'm going to do for my bonus action is I'm going to try to use my second wind to see if that helps when I heal myself.
Okay.
That's not a lot. That's 7 points of healing.
7 points of healing. So you get 7 points of healing.
Okay. Didn't think so. But it was worth a shot. And
Ignore that.
then I'm going to... I want to end this as fast as I can, so we're going to action surge. Because both those abilities come back on a short rest.
Yeah.
So we're going to attack it again with advantage because it's prone.
Yep.
Probably a good thing. That dice aren't rolled more. 24?
That will
24. For 12 poison.
Okay.
Fill up.
It is. Yes, still up.
Okay. We're just going to slash at it again. 23.
That will hit.
And the diet's rolling consistently. Oh, minimum damage. So that's 5 points poison.
5 points of poison will be enough to knock it down. It only had 1 HP left after your first attack.
Okay.
So it, like its friend, crumbles to bits on the ground before you.
Alright, and then I'm gonna move. Oh, come on, don't do that. Nope. Oh, this is it. 30 feet, so. I'm assuming that wood pile is not an actual wood pile.
No, it's not an actual wood ball.
Okay, so I can stand here.
Yeah, you can stand there. The only part that is like dug into the ground is where the tent is.
Okay.
The rest is just flat, open terrain.
And that will be the end of my turn.
That will be the end of your turn, and at the end of your turn, you take 16 necrotic damage.
Thank you. Thank you for moving closer to me.
Blood gushes from the wound in your chest.
You probably got a good look at me as I turn to run.
Everyone can see the long red trail you leave in the sand behind you. And that brings us over to Yixis.
Okay. So ignore that little square.
I can't ignore it.
Will not.
It will mock us forever.
It's getting bigger.
Oh no!
Hey! Ah!
Haha! It's gone.
A horror.
Did you control Z it to make it big?
Let's see here. So I'm going to just go with old faithful and do shatter, but it's going to be centered off the map so that it only hits the construct.
You can absolutely do that, and that was a con save, right?
Yes. DC 16, please don't make
And
it.
it rolled a 14.
Sweet. Okay. I like it. That's going to be 18 thunder damage.
18 thunder damage.
Ooh.
You've got your kill, good sir. As this thing bursts, and bits of it go flying across the desert sand.
It needs a collapse.
And that is all of the enemies. However, we are going to stay in initiative because someone is gushing blood at the moment.
God, I'm sitting down.
Anything else on your turn, Yixis?
Grab a burning log.
Cauterize that wound.
Just shove
I
it in
thought
there.
about doing that to Zara.
With a passive perception of 11, I'm not sure I would have actually seen that she is so severely wounded.
Fair enough. with a passive perception of 11, I'll say you see the red on the ground, but you haven't seen the wound on her yet.
So I'll start looking around. Is that all of them?
And that brings us to Zara.
Zara's gonna walk on over, lay a hand on Iza, and cast Cure Wounds at level 2.
Cure wounds at level 2.
That is going to be, what is my modifier? It's +4, correct? Yes, that is +4. You're gonna get a whopping 6 HP. I'm
Hey,
sorry,
hey,
7 HP.
That's 7 more than I had. Might
Is
make
that-
it so I survive the next round of damage.
You get that 7 HP, and the blood stops gushing from your wound. The wound is still there, and it's going to leave a nasty scar, but it's no longer in immediate danger of killing you.
Stars are, badges of honor. A nasty fight.
And because I was standing right there when it happened, I'm actually going to dump a 2nd level Cure Wounds into her as well.
Not a bad idea.
I
You
used
still
to-
got 2 watches to do, and you never know.
Please do
Yeah,
more than 7 HP.
Yes, I do. 8, 9, 10, 11 back.
Oh, thank you. I'm almost back to where we started the night. With
Great.
multiple
Now,
health.
if you could just not bleed out, that'd be fine.
That'd be
Um,
great.
Can I poke at the remains of these constructs? I'm trying to find whatever was causing what looks like it may have been causing the whirlwind effect. Like, damage me so heavily.
Yeah. God, I closed their character sheet already. Hold on. Wrong layer. Oh god, what am I doing? Give me...
I like to say now, if I can't find it, I'm just shoving one of the whole bodies into my bag to carry back with me.
They are very large
Oh, damn it.
bodies to shove into a bag. They're medium
Well,
creatures.
I'll take the creature without the legs.
Um,
If I can.
if you want to try and figure out what it was doing or how it worked, you can give me an Arcana roll or just a straight intelligence.
It doesn't matter to me one way or another because I'm not good at either. So, high die roll. High die roll.
I mean, there's someone you know
15.
who is.
We'll get to that. It's a 15.
It's difficult to really figure it out. I mean, gnolls don't really use constructs like this.
Yeah.
So a lot of what you're seeing in its construction, you don't really understand. You do spot a small crystal in the center of the spherical body of one of these things that was likely powering the creature or giving it the abilities that it was using.
I'd like to attempt to remove the crystal.
Okay. Let me just bring up something that Raven and I talked about before I let you roll something.
I want to see if I'm smart enough to do it with my claws
Oh,
or if I'm doing it
Lord.
with my knife. Nope.
Oh, is
She'll
it
use one of her
the-
daggers to it.
Oh,
The
God.
already damaged daggers. She's great.
You
Oh,
using
no.
it? Okay.
I take that back. No, she will just reach in with her hand because I'm a little worried about the dagger. Oh, this isn't gonna be great. I never said it was a smart idea.
Give me a straight dexterity check.
Quick.
I'm sorry?
6.
6.
6.
I'm
don't
almost
think-
out of healing spells, by the way.
Don't think Raven and
Dump
I
up.
discussed damage die on these things, so I'm just gonna make it up.
Yes, I did. Yes,
Did you?
we did.
Did
Yep.
we? Is it bad? I feel like
Um,
it's bad.
Yep. Let me
Um,
dig it out here.
Or are these one of those like mana crystals?
I have a feeling.
I know
is.
exactly what they are.
It's the mana core. The mana core inside has a self-destruct feature if it's screwed with.
Yeah.
Gotta be very, very careful with those crystals.
He said Crystal. I got worried, but she's not very smart.
They have Robco technology in them, so they just self-destruct when they die.
Yeah.
Are they worth about 300 gold pieces and have tears in them?
Nope.
Not these
Won't
ones,
have a
I'm
lot
afraid.
of blood in them though.
When I did my Arcana and/or Intelligence check, did I see a way to possibly transport this with the crystal inside in case this fails?
Not
Didn't?
with the knowledge that you have.
Give me a sec. We didn't, but I have it written down.
Everything's fine.
Everything's fine.
How big is the crystal?
This one is about the size of a clenched fist.
1d10.
1d10, okay. So you are going to take max damage from that. So 14 force damage?
It would be force, yes.
Okay.
14 force damage.
Well, actually, no.
As-
It would depend on what the arcane damage focus is. What it is.
For these ones, it would be force damage because
Okay.
their ability was doing force damage. That's what I figured was the case. So yeah, 14 force damage as you grab this crystal from inside of this thing and yank it out. And you do yank it out, but when you look down at the crystal in your hand, you see it begin to glow and vibrate and then shake, and cracks form on it as it bursts in your hand and shards of crystal go everywhere. It's not a good feeling. You have little crystal bits in your wound now.
You cracked the crystal.
He's not
Is there
very
another
smart.
battle happening? Is something attacking us?
Can I move here? Look at this one. I want to try to cut away around it, so I'm not touching the crystal, but I'm cutting myself a section that I can use to possibly transport said crystal.
What are you using to try and cut it? Because this is a pretty thick metal shell that these things have.
Probably my longsword. I have two of them.
Okay. You can try. There will be danger of, if you use too much force, that sword piercing through the shell of this thing and making contact with that crystal.
He's going to attempt it.
Okay. I'm going to call this one a strength check.
Okay. Just a straight strength check.
While this is happening, Xena looks down at Yixis and goes, "What is she doing?"
10.
10.
Oh, I don't know. Probably nothing good.
Is that an
You,
explosion?
It was an explosion. You drive that sword down onto this thing, and it makes that very satisfying tink noise of metal on metal, but doesn't seem to pierce the shell.
I'll try again.
Okay.
You hear a call out from the tent. You might want to stop trying to do that.
That's a 15.
A 15. Okay. You rotate the sphere of this one a little bit and find what looks to be a seam on this thing's shell. You're like, okay, that's the spot I need to hit. And you drive that sword down, and I'm gonna need a dexterity check from you as well. There's a range of numbers you're looking for here.
That was a 21.
A 21. Okay. Looking down at this thing, you see your sword pierce through that seam, and then you hear another tink noise, but it's not metal on metal. It's metal on what sounds like maybe rock or something. Like, oh, you pull your sword out and look, and you see a blue glow coming from the hole that you just pierced in this thing, and then it bursts, and you take 10 force damage.
You could take the one she was just messing with and then attempt to bury the others. Just won't see him anymore.
God.
This is on you, Raven. This is on you.
Yeah, you're lucky the crystals were only the size of a fist.
I know. things made
And
her mad,
Fox,
though.
the answer is every time they go up basically a size category, you add a d10.
That's what I figured would be the case.
Yeah.
So I wanted to
They're-
start small.
Oh God, can you imagine the destructive force of that spider walker from like early on in season 2?
Oh, I've been making plans for those things, those crystals of varying sizes in this desert from the moment that Raven told me about them.
And the problem is, those crystals are coalesced mana of a type of magic. So pick an elemental damage type, and that's what they're going to blow up as.
I will keep one body out that I will drag by its leg.
Not okay.
Okay. Easy enough to do. Is anyone doing anything, or are the rest of you going back to sleep to hopefully finish off the night?
Yeah, I'm just going back to the hole.
I'm
I will
staying
probably-
away from the craters.
Ask Yazix if he can tell what the crystal is without touching it. I strictly instruct him not to touch it.
Okay. Give me, if you're going to, Yixis, you can give me an Arcana check.
Okay, I'll go up and do one of those. It'll be a 17.
A 17? Yeah, you have a pretty good idea of what these things are. Though it's unusual to see one that isn't in the hands of one of the shamans in Wraith's Cast. They are crystals that seem to be formed or imbued in some way with residual magic, either magic from an area of the land that just seems to be magical in and of itself, or a place where a lot of magic is being used. It imbues these crystals or forms these crystals with that energy. And the shamans of Wraith's Cast actually make jewelry out of them for themselves and only for themselves, because they have the rank. They're allowed to. Nobody else
Yeah.
is.
Xena probably figured that out the hard way when she asked, "Where do you get that?"
Yep.
And she was harshly shut down.
Are there any left intact?
There are...
I buried one, though.
There's one left intact. Because I'm going to say the one that you shattered the crystal as well. So there's one left intact.
Do I see any safe way of removing it? Keyword safe.
Give me an intelligence check.
I can definitely do that. 16 on a die. Is this a straight intelligence?
Straight intelligence.
Okay, so then that would be a dirty 20.
Very skilled and very careful hands can remove and handle these things safely. Anything other than that usually results in an explosion.
Do I feel that there is anybody in this group that fits that description?
Not even remotely.
Then I will do nothing and rebury it.
Okay.
I'm going back to sleep now. I hurt.
Do I have a watch to finish out, or do we switch?
You have about 30 minutes left in your watch. Nothing else is going to happen. But
Okay.
Isa, as you go to sleep and get yourself nice and comfortable and warm and just start drifting off, you hear a voice in your head that wakes you up out of that sleep. And it is a very familiar voice to you. One that you heard not that long ago. And the voice was not happy with you the last time you spoke.
This asshole.
I wouldn't say that to her face as you hear Zael's voice in your mind.
Oh damn, wasn't the one I was thinking of.
Wrong one.
Wrong asshole. Shamans have been sent to the battle scene that you told me about. When did you learn sending? Why not just use the box I gave you?
I don't think I used my amulet today, so I'd probably respond.
You can respond to
Oh.
the message. You have 25 words.
I found an amulet. Seemed better to use a method which can trigger a response.
Okay,
Okay.
that's it. I'm
Yep.
used to people using all 25 and
No.
just like spouting gibberish. Okay. Message received. She does not take the time or energy to use another sending to respond. But after that, you once again drift off to sleep, and we're going to go ahead and take our first break at that moment. So bear with us. We will be back in just a few minutes as we get up and stretch our legs, refresh our drinks, and finish the night off when we return.
Keep them in thrall, it's time to smite and ignite!
And we are back with broken cameras. There we go.
Welcome back.
I only need to fix 3.
I really need to just not have that website open while we're trying to play a game.
Is it distracting?
I had a feeling you were
It's
still
extremely
looking at the
distracting.
dice.
I wasn't, but then Raven started linking more dice and talking about all the great deals and
The pound of dice is what
Well,
amazes
I
me.
didn't link anything. I mentioned something.
no, you linked the handful of dice.
Oh,
Yeah, but whose handful is it?
It's
That's,
I
fine.
mean-
that's the important question here.
I mean, it's literally on a valid order for 1 cent, you get a handful of dice.
But yeah, but see, that's what I'm asking. Is it like my handful, or is it like
mean-
a normal person handful?
For a penny, I'll take a baby's handful.
They're asking if you want more dice. Don't argue.
The pound of mystery dice for $12 US was it's pretty amazing too.
No, we're trying to do a thing. I'm closing those tabs again. Closing those tabs. Still thinking about it though.
We can tell who has problem with dice around here.
It's not a problem per se. It's
only
a
problem when you
desire.
run out.
Exactly. If I don't have at least a dozen sets of dice for every day of the year, then the
There's a
problem
problem.
is that I don't have enough dice.
Yeah, that's what I meant. If you're looking at dice, you obviously don't have enough, so it's a problem.
Exactly. So, welcome back. Shadow Fox did have to step away, but that's okay. We have a reliable group of gnolls here that don't ever get themselves into trouble, so he shouldn't be missing too much.
No, we're fine. Damn it, we need him for a watch.
It's fine. Xerix can take a watch.
Yep, Xerix is just gonna take a watch. Who is taking next watch anyway after Xena? Who am I waking up?
That's a good question. I don't think anybody spoke up, so Xena, it's up to you as to who you want to wake up.
That's the dealer's choice at that point.
She will wake up. So I know Zara is still feeling pretty tired, so she would wake up Xerix. Yep.
All right.
We made that mistake last time.
That's who she'd wake
It'll
up
be
though.
It'll be
Shake,
fun.
shake, shake, shake,
I-
shake.
If you guys find yourselves in a battle, I'll take control of Ixis and act on his behalf.
Cast Fireball.
Yep.
Pretty much.
Shatter. That's what he likes. Okay,
Shatters.
so I wake up Xerix. Your turn.
Oh, for better or for worse.
Oh, by the way, Isa mentioned something about a tiny lizard dragon thing.
What?
Keep an eye out. If you see it, wake me immediately.
Okay.
And she'll curl on up in the puppy pile and go to sleep.
Okay.
And we're going to run this off of what have we used? Perception or survival?
Both.
Both.
Have we?
Mhm. Doesn't mean you can't use it again, just that.
You know what? I'm going to pull a Xena here and use athletics to
Do the Zoomies.
play zoomies around the camp to keep an eye out.
I
Okay.
love that that's pulling a Xena. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Better or for worse?
It's also pulling a Xena when you try to intimidate nature.
Huh.
One on each side of the spectrum.
So that's a 26.
Wow. You need to zoom me more
26,
often.
Okay.
With an 81 on the percentile.
26 and 81.
Flying pigs.
Making me open up assets here that I didn't have prepared. Okay. So, 21 and 86. You are doing the zoomies around your camp. And there's no like big dunes for an oasis to hide behind. There's no trees for death dogs to sleep in and jump down on you from. You're feeling relatively okay and relatively safe despite the battle you just had with those mechanical creatures. There doesn't seem to be any more of those around either. And as you're running around, you notice about 75 feet to the southeast of your camp is a very faint green light that seems to be buried partway in the surface of the sand.
I will zoomies in that direction.
Okay. Are you going to go
Curiosity.
straight up to it, or are you going to stop a distance away to...
I'm going to stop a little bit away from it and kind of creep up to it,
Okay.
trying to get an idea what it is before I get there.
So you stop, let's say, 45-ish feet away from this strange light, and you notice there's a very faint, occasional buzzing noise come from it. And you've encountered enough of these things at this point to know that this is another one of those mana bane scarabs with the glowing runes on the shell covering its wings. But it seems to be alone. There doesn't seem to be a swarm anywhere near it. Just a lone one out looking for some food, maybe. And it looks to be trying to pull something out of the sand.
What do I have available?
Suddenly, cat.
Yeah, I'm hearing meowing and I'm like, what the hell?
And
going
he
on?
casts cat.
It's
Um,
not me this time.
Do I know roughly how tough these scarab things are? Like, how big are we talking?
They
Like-
are...
Like, are we talking the size of like a corgi or?
They're slightly smaller than your average house cat.
Okay.
So they're big, but they're not like dauntingly big.
I'm just wondering if we. I'm going to go back. I'm going to get Xena and then come back out here.
Okay.
That is
Alright.
the plan.
So you go back to the group and you nudge Xena until she wakes up.
I already had a watch. What? Is there a
There's
dragon
one of-
here?
No, there's one of those little magical eating scarabs trying to dig something out of the sand. I thought you might be interested.
Why?
Because you're the only one who doesn't seem to freak out around them.
Fair. Hold on. She's gonna leave the javelin behind, which is the only magical.
Also fair.
She'll also leave her ring of feather falling behind. She just kind of sets him over by Isa.
Okay.
Issa rolls over on top of him.
Pats herself. Alright, I don't think I have any things glowy left. Fine, let's see your beetle.
And back in that direction.
Okay. And Xerix leads you, Xena, to where he spotted the beetle, and it is indeed still there. And you can get pretty close. It seems quite occupied with trying to pull whatever this object is, out of the sand. So it doesn't really notice you, or it just decides not to pay you any attention as you approach it. You get to about 40 feet before you can clearly see what it is.
I keep on walking.
Okay.
I'll glance at Xerix to see if he's gonna stop me.
Are we
Bye.
creeping up and murdering? Is that what we're doing?
I don't creep.
Xena's not a creep.
I figured
30
we just
feet.
kind of shoo it away. If we kill it, it might make its friends angry. I don't know. You just want to see what it's digging, right?
Well, if it's interested, we should be interested.
All right, let's shoo it.
Okay.
All right, Xena's gonna bull rush it in an intimidating way. Just,
Okay.
just a snarled face. Just.
As soon as you start to run towards it, you can see this thing's disposition switch. It goes from occupied and interested in what it's trying to dig up to panicked and trying to just yank whatever this is out of the sand and fly away with it. But it seems stuck quite firmly to the ground. Give me an intimidation roll. And you can use your charisma or your strength for this.
Okay. I use strength 18. 26 intimidation. I rolled an 18 on the die, so.
It rolled quite high as well, but not that high. So when you get to about 10 feet from it, it decides this is a lost cause, and it lets go of what it's trying to dig up and flies off.
Glorious, yes! Ah! All right, there you go.
And I'm going to see if I can get whatever was in the sand out of it.
Okay. Looking at where it was, all you really see is a little bit of string sticking out from the surface of the sand. Whatever is attached to the string is still buried. So,
I'll start digging near where Zerik's looking.
so digging away at this object and pushing aside a lot of the sand, you begin to reveal a necklace that has 8 beads on it that is wrapped still quite firmly around the neck of a skeleton. It is a humanoid skeleton.
Pretty. Probably magic-y, right? Maybe we should have the little guy look at it in the morning.
We should take it back to him.
Okay. She'll just pop the head of the skeleton off and then
Easy enough to do with your strength.
pick up the necklace and set it in Zerik's hands.
And we'll take this back with us.
Yes.
Do
Back to
so
sleep.
without issue.
Xena zoomies back into bed. And we'll sleep a little bit longer in the morning to make up for the time difference.
That's fair. So, Xerix, you do still have a little bit of time left in your watch.
Okay.
You can use that time to continue the watch, or you can just sit in your camp and do an Arcana roll on this necklace if you want to try and figure out
I'm
more
going
about
to
it.
leave that for the little one.
Okay. Fair enough. So, the end of your watch approaches, and you are now free to wake up the next person.
So I will, you know what? We're going to wake up Zara.
Okay.
You haven't had a watch, right?
Nope.
Okay.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Now, if I take the watch, I can't recover that point of exhaustion, correct?
No, you can recover it, because you'll still be getting a long rest, and
Okay.
long rest is 6 hours of sleep and 2 hours of non-strenuous activity, like a watch. So,
All right. Oy. So would the exhaustion level have already dropped, or this will be at the end of the watch?
by the end of your watch, it
Okay.
will drop.
And In the process, I'm actually going to hold up the necklace in front of Zara. Do you know what this is? We found it.
Are you proficient with Arcana?
I am not.
Zara? You are not? Okay,
Nope.
you do not know what it is.
It's a necklace.
Right. I'll give it to the little one. He'll know.
I think I am going to use survival for this.
Survival? Okay.
It's my highest skill, and since I have to roll at a disadvantage, that'll be a 14.
14. And the percentile?
100.
Oh,
100.
what does a 100 do?
Okay. That's a good question. What does a 100 do?
5 elder dragons.
Or it summons the
Deck of
door.
many things.
No, the door's our raccoon out here.
I do have the door on the thing, but
Oh,
it
dear.
is not that set of numbers, I'm afraid. I'll write down this other thing before I remove it. Okay. So you wander around the camp. You're kind of bored. It's a flat area. There's not much going on. You're hoping at least for something interesting to watch, but there's no critters around. Clouds are starting to roll in, so you can't even look up at the stars. You've got nothing to do. So you decide, well, Zarek's found this necklace over there, so I'm just gonna wander over there and maybe dig a little deeper, see if there's anything else. And you do exactly that. You begin to dig, and by the time you get to the bottom of this skeleton, which was like a full-sized person, and it was like upright, so you've dug quite deep, you find a wooden box that was right next to its feet. And you heft that box out of the hole because it looks like just a regular wooden box. You had no reason to believe it might curse you or something if you touch it. So you pull it out and you examine it, and it does have a lock on the front of it. But with the weight of the box, there's certainly something inside of it.
What kind of lock are we talking about on this box?
It across the front of it, there's like a metal bar, and there's 3 loops in the bar, and each of those loops has a padlock on it. So 3 locks in total, but they do just look like regular padlocks.
All right, I'm gonna take this box back to camp.
Okay.
Any attempts at opening it up are gonna have to wait till I get back there. I'm not gonna try to do that out in the open.
That's fair. So it takes a bit of effort because you only have one arm.
I've only got one arm.
But you do manage to drag the box back to the camp.
Is it bad that I'm honestly thinking about taking a spell or taking a level in mage just so I can use mage hand as a secondary arm?
It's not a bad idea.
Or artificer.
Or artificer, yeah.
So you're back at camp. You got the box. Anything that you are trying to do with it tonight, or are you gonna wait until morning?
I'm gonna wait until morning. That way I can, have other people assist me in this instance. Just trying to
Fair
pick
enough.
a lock, trying to pick or break a lock one-handed isn't really gonna, do much.
It's fair. So the rest of your watch goes by without issue. It's just as quiet, just as uneventful as the first part of your watch. And the sun begins to rise on the horizon. The daytime critters come out of their dens and start looking for breakfast. And the rest of you slowly stir and awake.
And as everyone is waking up, there is already good berries prepared.
No. Definitely eating that.
Xena's sleeping in a little bit longer, make up for that time.
I found a
So
box.
she'll be up last.
You did. Is it locked?
Yes. 3 locks.
Need some help? I opened the lock on my box pretty well.
As she kind of like looks down to her missing arm. That would be appreciated.
Zan's gonna pull out a broken dagger and find something heavy to smash the other end with. You're muted.
You gonna try to just smash open the box then?
Smash open the lock. More stick
Smash
the
open the
dagger
box.
in the lock hole and then
Okay.
smash it. And just try to
Wait.
break the lock.
I thought you said you were going to pick the locks.
I am picking the lock.
No. No.
Eva style.
There's got to be another way instead of just bashing this open. I've seen what happens when you try to use a dagger to get something out. Things tend to explode around you.
It worked just fine on my box.
Do I have any spells whatsoever that I can use to... I don't, but... Fine. She's gonna reach out and she's gonna cast guidance on Isa.
Dagger in the hole. Smack the other side. If I have to use, I'll use the other dagger to do the hilts together. But if I can find a rock, I prefer that.
You will have to use the other dagger. There are no rocks around.
Okay.
So, go ahead and give me a strength check, if you would. Which of the 3 locks are you doing this on?
The top one.
They're all side by side.
Oh,
So there's one on the left, one in the center, one on the right.
left.
Left. Okay.
She's left-handed, so we'll start with the left. That is going to be a 23.
23.
Oh wait, no, sorry, 22. She only has plus
22.
4. Sorry.
Hey, you've done this before, and it worked last time. So you position that dagger and you slam down on it with the hilt of your other dagger, and you're fairly confident that the amount of force and the precision you just used should pop that lock no problem, but it does not budge. Does not budge even a millimeter.
That's strange. More inspect the lock to see if there's anything funky about the lock.
Okay, give me an investigation.
Investigation. Oh, plus 0, so 17.
17. Okay, as you're looking at this lock, as you're looking at all 3 of these locks, you notice something. A regular padlock usually has at least a little bit of wiggle to the locking mechanism. When you kind of shake it about, you can usually hear the innards of it rattle around ever so slightly. There's always just a touch of give in these things. But these ones don't do that. They don't rattle, they don't give. It's almost like it's just one solid object rather than a mechanical contraption.
Look at sorry. Did you happen to find a key where you found this thing?
No.
It doesn't look like there's anything to open.
I wonder. Xerix. Can I see that necklace?
Sure.
You take the necklace. I'm just gonna set it on the box.
Okay. Set it on the box.
Mm-hmm.
It's on the box.
Madbird Streams, thank you for that raid. So there's no locking mechanism to each one of these locks. They seem to be one solid lock.
I mean, there is a keyhole, as though there is proper like locking pins and everything in there that would turn when you put a key in it. But even the sturdiest of locks, when you rattle them, you can hear those pins rattling around inside of it. These ones don't do that. Either it's seized up or there's nothing in there to rattle around.
Given that it was in sand, I would vote that it was probably seized up.
Huh.
I mean, we're talking skeleton, not slightly decomposed, not
Yeah, it was like
died a week ago.
Bones picked clean, not even a sliver of meat left on it.
A little bit of
so
sun bleaching going on there.
Yeah, it's been buried in that sand for a while, quite a while.
How about if I use... I put my hand against the keyhole and I use Druid Craft to cast a puff of air into the lock to see if it like loosens up any sand that may be inside of it.
Okay, yeah, you can do that. And when you do that to the first lock, you do see a bunch of sand kind of puff out of the keyhole.
Are you druid compressed airing a freaking
Yup.
lock?
Yup.
Hey,
Look,
that's exactly what spells like Druidcraft, Thaumaturgy, and Prestidigitation are for.
exactly. So yeah, she's gonna do that with each of the 3 locks. Just
okay. And you do that with each of the 3, and you go back and do it again just to make sure. And you've cleaned out the keyholes quite well.
look over to Isa. Dragon.
Okay. Stick my dagger back in. Position myself again. Smack away.
Okay, give me that strength check.
That's a 7.
A 7.
Bad die.
You're less confident in yourself this time around. You were full of confidence the first time, but nothing happened. So you're like, I mean, I guess I'll try it again. And you don't really give it the gumption that you usually do. And you smack into it. Nothing seems to happen. Well, I don't know.
I think we
So
need...
I know it wasn't a very good hit, but right?
Yes.
So I could try again, knowing I didn't put the effort in, or
Yeah,
okay.
you can try again.
Remember, you also have guidance on you, so you have a D4 to add on to your roll.
Yeah.
I forgot that. Thank you. 18.
An 18, much better hit than the last one, but still this lock holds firm, and there's no rattle, no shifting, nothing from it when you hit it that third time. And with that third strike, Xena, you wake up finally after hearing this repeated pounding, like, what is going on? Just let me sleep type of thing. There's
Wow,
just
we
too
actually
much
see it
noise
from
for you
Xena.
to continue sleeping.
All right. Stretch. What are you guys doing?
Try to open this box.
I found a box.
She grabs her axe. All right. Point me
think
where.
I'm gonna look at it, Zara, and be like, I think the locks are just for show. I don't think they're real.
So let's smash the box.
Let's
Zara's
not
box.
completely smash the box. We don't know what's inside. But maybe
Alright.
smash the lock.
I can do that too. Back away, please.
And I'm gonna cast guidance on Xena.
Okay.
I'm
Oh,
gonna
cantrips.
aim as carefully as I can with a battle axe over this lock.
Okay. So, let's see. You can give me a strength check with your proficiency bonus. Yeah.
Okay.
Strength check with your
Yep.
proficiency bonus.
I already rolled, so
And a D4 from guidance.
okay. Me. Strength check. So first, just strength, straight up strength. It would. Are you saying athletics or is it my
Um,
strength?
It Yeah, I guess it would be
modifier?
the same number as athletics since you're
Okay,
proficient in that,
okay.
but it's your strength mod plus your proficiency bonus, which. 5
Which
plus
adds
3.
up to the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
yeah. 17. 29.
29.
Jesus.
Yeah, I rolled a 17 on the die and then a 4 on the d4.
You do what you do best, and you bring your axe down on the locking mechanisms on this box, and the locks are on the front of it, so when you strike down, the box does kind of flip up into the air and spin a bit before it lands on the ground again. But examining the box after that strike, you do see that your axe did bite into the metal loops that the padlocks are on just a bit.
This is a strong lock, guys. This is a very strong lock.
Maybe if you hit it when you're doing the thing that makes you hit all the enemies harder. Whatever you call that.
Oh. You
Yep.
sure you want to go there?
Hold on. I'm gonna examine the box for anything else that may open it up.
Okay, give me an investigation.
We could just carry it around till the little guy wakes up.
16.
16. Looking at this box, you notice that the wooden slats that form the top and sides of the box are reinforced with some kind of metal, and that the metal bar that's across the front that the padlocks are on actually goes all the way around the perimeter of the box as well. Other than that, it just looks like a very, very sturdy box that was meant to keep whatever is inside of it.
The thing that's gonna help try and open it. Where did you find it? 'Cause I'm gonna go see if there's a key.
I'm gonna point her out in the direction. There's a hole over there and a skeleton too.
So I'm gonna go poke around the skeleton in the hole, see if I can't find a key.
Okay, give me an investigation.
Come on, good roll. Investigation. Investigation is a 0, so that's a 19.
A 19. You feel like you've done a pretty thorough search of this hole and this skeleton, and you find nothing else.
Let's just carry it around for a while. Maybe we'll come across something. Here, I'll carry it.
You do feel like, Xena, if you can get another hit off like the one you just did,
Mhm.
you might smash it open.
All right, someone punch me. Come on.
Okay.
I throw a firebolt at her.
All right.
Okay.
Just point blank firebolt.
Go
And then
for
I'm
it.
gonna go into the punches and then punch
The
me.
firebolt hurts. Oh no, actually I have resistance to fire, so this will be all right.
Okay, so that's gonna be a 19 with the firebolt.
Yeah, that hits.
All right, you're gonna take, Jesus, 13 points of fire damage.
Halved for my resistance, right?
Yep.
So that'll be 6. Is it
6,
6?
yep.
Yeah. Okay. And then I go into a rage.
Okay.
Thanks. Swing. Oh, that sucks. I got 2 2s.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's not gonna do it. That's gonna be 8, 9, 10. Yeah, just 10.
You swing down hard and you swing down fast, but because you're trying to hit such a small target, you end up missing and digging your axe into the sand right next to the box.
Now that I'm in a rage, it's like blinding as
Yep.
well. Oh, and something else happens. Hold on. Just
Oh,
for
right, your
flavor.
wild magic stuff.
Just to see what it is.
So this
Oh, it's a
last-
1 again, so the tentacles are back out.
the
But I
last,
choose not to use them.
the last hour of this session is us just versus this box.
Yes.
Just keep punching Xena. And just different effects keep happening.
You did make an attack, so your rage goes on.
Oh, cool. I'll swing again if I can. Hey, do you want to do that thing where you
I'll-
help me?
I'll give you advantage on this, and,
Okay.
and we'll say those golden tendrils are assisting you in attacking this locking mechanism.
Yeah, you still
Well-
have guidance on you.
Okay.
it's
Well, I already
concentration.
had advantage because of.
Oh, right. Okay, so
Great
add
check.
add a +4 on top
Okay.
of all your other modifiers.
And a
I think-
D4.
Oh, and I forgot I didn't. Oh no, yeah, it's just advantage. I don't get any bonuses. Okay. So advantage and then +4. You said.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. And a D4. God damn.
We can't open boxes.
We can't open boxes.
You guys do seem to have real trouble with boxes for some
16.
reason.
17,
None of us
18,
are a
19,
rogue.
20, 21, 22, 23.
23, it strikes it, but it just glances the edge.
If I rolled
of
higher,
the
it would have
metal
done
loop.
it.
So it takes like a sliver off of it. It does damage it a bit, but it's not a good solid strike you were hoping for.
A DM, your call on whether or not I can continue this.
Yeah, I mean, how long does your rage last? As long as you keep maintaining it with attacks.
Let me
Is
see.
there like
if
a
it
specific
says-
duration?
It says the bonus action you can rage for up to 1 minute. So
Up
that's
to
I
1
guess
minute.
10
Okay,
times.
so keep rolling your d20 until you get 18 or above, or reach 9 rolls without getting those numbers.
So I'm on roll 2.
Yeah.
Okay, this might do it. I got a 19 on the die. So that would be +8 plus the 4. So 19.
27 plus, so that's 31.
And then a D4
Okay, yeah, that'll do it. That'll
plus
do it.
3. So
The
that's
DC
30.
on
Dirty
this
30.
was 30. It was a very high DC, but I knew one person in the party was capable of it.
These
so-
guns.
Your missing the box twice in a row drives your rage that much further, and you put the entirety of your weight and your muscle behind this strike and bring that axe down right on the front of this box. And just like before, when you strike it, it flips up into the air and spins, but as it's spinning, you see the bar on the front of it fly off, and all 3 padlocks go with it, and the box lands on the ground right side up, no longer locked.
I like to think that during that last swing, also the tentacles, just for flavor, each grip the axe as well. So it's like
Absolutely.
my arms and then the tentacles too.
I like to imagine at this point, he's just walking back, so I couldn't find a key. Oh, never mind.
You're walking back, and then suddenly one of the padlocks goes flying by your head.
I think I got it.
Pat Xena on the shoulder and try to flip the box open.
Tail wags.
Okay. You flip open the box, and inside of it seems to be a piece of linen that is quite aged. It's a bit deteriorated, so it's been there quite a while, but you do see a little vial of something wrapped within that linen.
Unwrap it and take a look at it.
Okay. Looking at this vial, you see inside of it a white viscous liquid that has a kind of glimmering pearlescent shimmer to it. It looks too thick to be a potion.
Now, since I have proficiency with an herbalism kit, could I get some sort of roll to maybe identify this?
Yeah. Roll your... let me look at your character sheet real quick. Roll your wisdom with proficiency.
Just straight up wisdom roll?
Yeah, you're
Okay.
you're using the knowledge of your herbalism kit, but you're relying on something other than intelligence for it. So
Alright.
you get the proficiency.
It'll be 16 total.
16? Okay. You're not 100% sure, but you think you may know what this is. And it makes sense, given the state of the locks as well, if it was used on them. This might be a bottle of sovereign glue.
Isn't this the stuff that we recently saw used in Critical Role?
Deccan.
This is the stuff that forms a permanent bond between two objects that
Crazy
can
glue.
only be removed with universal solvent or a wish. I think oil of etherealness does it too, actually.
It's bad.
Great,
So-
so we can find a big enough stick we can make an axe out of the pieces that we got.
Yeah,
with this
so
glue.
so thinking about it, it's like, well, perhaps they took some of this glue and just like put it on something and then put the glue in the box and then took that bit that they put on an object and dipped it into each of these keyholes on these locks so they couldn't be opened.
And is there anything else in the box, or is...
Just the sovereign glue.
Okay. And how big is the piece of linen?
The piece of linen is, let's say, 3 feet by 1 foot.
Not even worth anything.
It's pretty
Fire starter.
ratty looking.
Yep. Just gonna let that. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna wrap the vial back up, and then I'll take the vial with me.
Okay. And for your records, there is 5 ounces of it inside of that vial, and 1 ounce of the glue covers a 1 foot square surface.
So what did we find, Zael?
Glue.
Glue.
Yeah. They really
What's
had that
glue?
much. All that for
She
glue?
holds up the bottle. Very strong glue.
What is glue? Glue.
It's a liquid that forms bonds with 2 different things. This strength of glue would make it permanent.
Wow.
Huh.
So like you stick something
Yeah.
to another something
And then it can't be removed.
forever.
Mm-hmm.
In the case of that, I think so.
I feel like this could be used in a good way, but I don't know how. Maybe we could glue the dragon's eyes shut. Maybe we could.
You gonna get close
That
up to
would
the
be
dragon
so
and glue his eyes?
mean.
You're gonna kill it anyway.
You're right. That wouldn't be very sporting, would
I
it?
don't know what you're talking about. I'm looking at, possibly sealing a certain dragon's mouth shut for all eternity.
You know, that's just cruel.
If we get
and
swallowed by a
unusual
dragon again, we
punishment.
can kind of stick ourselves to it.
I
We're
want the
stuck in
dragon to
fur.
see its death coming, so never mind that idea.
Why
I don't
s-
know. Maybe we can cover it in feathers.
Why make it?
Lock it.
Why make it see its death when you can just watch it starve to death?
Oh, that's just mean.
That's yeah. That would rob us of our
It
glory.
took my arm.
Fair.
This is also
So
true.
take its arm.
No, I like the starving.
Hmm.
Definitely the starving.
So,
I mean, I'm sure you could make some amazing. The druids could make some amazing focuses out of the remains of a dragon.
I want to kill the dragon, though. We're not just gonna glue him shut and let him go. That's lame. That's not glorious at all. That's just clever.
I guess we
I
have
give you that.
I guess we have a decision to make this morning, though, because I think Zarek said something about needing to go back to his cast. My shield is badly damaged.
Mm.
I
Our
would like to
gear
think
is
it was.
in a condition that we might need to acquire new things.
Would the glue possibly be able to repair said things?
It would not.
Okay.
It is mainly just for bonding things together. I mean, if you had like an axe head that was broken in half, you could definitely bond the two halves back together. But as far as recreating the broken areas, it's not capable of that.
Oh, speaking of Rith's Cast, I forgot. Zara was going to look into the future about what if we return to Rith's Cast off the path.
I do want to, before you look, tell you that the matriarch contacted me last night. Tell me they're going to the graveyard we found, but also to ask why we're using sending and not the box. I told her it was because it was more convenient, but I feel like she heard the slight yip I gave off at the beginning of that sentence.
Well, it is more convenient. The box was stolen.
Well, I didn't want to tell her it was stolen, but she might have figured it out. I don't feel like I was very convincing.
It is better to assume the matriarch knows all.
So
You should have just
Very
told her.
true.
I don't know if Zara actually wants to go into this cast with us. Maybe she can camp outside, we'll go in and get our stuff and come back out.
Why would I?
Because she may ask for her bird box back.
Well, it was given really to the group as a whole. Zara was just holding it, so it's really all of our responsibility, I see. So we should all face the music together. I
Knowing
feel
the
like we've got
matriarch,
some-
we'll just be tasked with retrieving it.
Maybe she'll like this glue. Maybe the glue will help make up for the bird box. Or that necklace that we found last night, right, Zarex? What's with
I
the
have no
necklace?
idea. Looks at Yixis.
He's really asleep right now.
That's your problem.
We will say that Yixis is currently mid-identify ritual on that necklace.
Okay.
Seems reasonable.
While he's doing that, Zara's gonna drop down to her knees again and drop into that transfer inner gate to begin to look at the various paths and whatnot taken if we were to say return to Rift's Cast instead of continuing on the southern path that I was originally shown.
Okay. So all of you see the, at this point, somewhat familiar meditation stance that Zara takes as that third eye symbol begins to glow on her forehead once again. And Zara, you see flashes of differing paths before you. One, you see a flash of the Colosseum, and with it, 8 glowing eyes in the darkness. You see the flash of Wraith's Cast, and with it, crimson rain falling from the sky. And you see a flash of your original path, and with it, a faint female voice calling out for help.
Okay. And going to snap out of it. We may want to continue.
Continue to Rithcast or continue on the path we were going?
Our
or what-
original path.
Ah,
I see returning to Rith's Cast a crimson rain covering the city. And then back at the Colosseum, 8 glowing eyes in the darkness. Which which I can only assume is that spider.
well, if Rithcast is in trouble, we should return, no?
I agree with that. I mean, you saw the fire that one day, and it wouldn't turn out to be anything too terrible. I mean, it could be the blood has nothing to do with us.
I'm
we might be
also
able to
down
help.
for spider killing.
Or it can definitely be due to us. But on our path, there's a female voice calling for help.
Do you recognize the voice?
Do I
You did not.
No.
There is a lady in
And-
distress.
But they may not be part of our clan, so what does it matter?
Our
It could
path
be an
is
enemy.
clear.
It may be somebody of our clan as well.
We must find out if they need help. Seems like a very glorious thing to do.
Very well. But I
I
do
do
think
a-
we should consider going back after we help this person. They might need an
Right.
escort back, and I think we do need replacement equipment.
There you go. We'll just pick up whoever that is, take them back home, get your fix-ups, see what's going on at Rith's Cast, to warn them of bloody rain. I don't know.
I
Maybe
can
it'll
send a
be-
message to make sure I can tell her about bloody rain coming.
Probably be a good idea.
Alright, so I'm more concentrate on my sending.
Oh, before that, why not have the matriarch or whoever's going to meet us or out to that graveyard meet us on the way? Bring weapons. Instead of us
Wait.
walking all the way back to Rith's Cast, why not have Rith's Cast walk to us?
They might have already been sent out, though.
I had the feeling that they sent them out already. It took her almost a whole day to get back to me.
Yeah, when
The
she
matriarch
contacted
tends to
you,
not waste time.
she did say that a group has been sent.
She said they were already sent.
Matriarch wastes no time.
So I will cast the sending. And I will tell her, I'll use Zara's name. So Zara has seen a vision of the future. Bloody rain is coming to Risk Cast. Do you need us to return? That's it.
So your message goes through. In typical Zael fashion, a response is not immediate.
Mhm.
But after a moment of waiting, she does call back to you. A vision of the future. Of bloody rain. Are you dehydrated? Have you eaten enough? You sound insane.
How many charges does this necklace have?
That's a good question. I don't remember. I think it was just one.
Okay. She doesn't believe me. She thinks we're dehydrated.
Of course.
I'm more
Maybe we
sadly
should
at
have
my
told
empty
her.
water pouch.
She probably doesn't know that Zara sees the future now and omens and all that.
I
Might
said
have-
that she saw the future. It was a vision of the future. Well, how you get more clear than that?
Well, the matriarch will take it or leave it. I'm sure in her wisdom she'll determine the right thing to do when the time comes.
Shall we carry on to
Yes,
Find
carry
this-
forth! Lead on! Zara, what
Okay.
direction?
along the path?
Well, if we are continuing on the path, the way we've been going,
Very well. Follow me! I haven't gotten my workout yet today. And Xena will, if you allow it, I'll go ahead and do the first roll.
Yeah.
She's-
So are you just continuing in that same direction, or are you going to try to find those footprints in the sand again and follow them?
Oh! Skelly! What about Skelly?
Skelly's gone.
What do you mean Skelly's gone?
Skelly didn't return. He's no longer under my control.
Did you tell him to return? Because I remember you telling him to go to the place where the person was. I don't remember you telling him to come back.
That is true.
That's why I asked you if you had a way of tracking Skelly.
No.
We've lost Skelly?
I set Skelly free.
You did this on purpose, Zara. You knew it.
Xena,
Yes,
we
I
can go
did.
grab that
You knew it
skeleton
was attached.
over there and make a new Skelly.
Is
Skelly
there's
2.0.
there's
The
no
undead are not pets.
no.
Wasn't a pet, he was family.
It was family. Xena steps away, takes a moment, dries her tears.
Oh,
Says
she
a
stepped
little-
away. I was just saying I catch tears in the water skin.
Says a little warrior's prayer to Skelly. And then we'll stomp back, glare at Zara. Fine. I guess we're going on the path then.
You can make an attempt to try and find those footsteps again, but it would be very difficult at this point.
Wow, she rolled really high, but my shit is super low. So 19, because I'd rolled a 19 on the die for investigation, if that's what I'm rolling.
And 19, that's significantly higher than what you guys normally roll on these things.
I know, and I have a +0, but it was what I rolled on the dice. I was very surprised. Xena's very surprised.
I was like, okay, I'm gonna set the DC at 18. There's no way they'll ever hit that. But you got 19. You do find some divots in the sand where the footprints were. They are not defined in any way as footprints. So like if this was your first time seeing them, you wouldn't recognize them as footprints. But knowing that there was footprints here, like, yeah, that kind of matches. There's some that could be a two-legged person walking, and beside it there's enough divots that's probably a four-legged thing walking. So I'm fairly confident that these are the footprints that we saw yesterday. And you managed to find them and see the direction that they're going in, and they are going southward in the same direction that you were originally heading.
Xena is going to stick her nose to the ground and start kind of walking in the sand in that direction. She's like, wait, we have to follow this. I have a scent. I can see it. I see the trail. I can find Skelly. Follow me.
We're not.
Don't we want to save the girl?
We have other pressing matters.
It is in the same direction as you would be heading otherwise.
Oh, okay. If that's the case, then I guess we can follow it then.
Yeah, I'm assuming
Kill
you're sticking to that path that's drawn on the map for the time being.
Yeah.
Am I
Yep.
right in that assumption?
Xena, if we find Skelly, he will not be friendly. He is no longer under my control.
I will subdue him until we can put him right.
I'm not going to put him right. He deserves his freedom.
What is it that they always say? Something about you love them, kill them, release them? It's not very smart, okay?
Who raised you?
If you love them, stab them.
Live
If
in
they
the
bleed out,
orphan.
it was never meant to be.
I have not heard this.
That saying's even new to me. If you love
Oh.
them, kill them.
So her tail goes like underneath her legs as she's thinking about this. Her ears go
It
down.
doesn't feel like that's the right saying, but it's the same kind of concept.
She kicks the sand a little bit. Whatever. Maybe we'll see him and I can at least say goodbye, you know?
This is
Let
why
it
you
go.
don't get
Let him
attached.
go.
Anything's possible.
This is why you don't
Tell-
get attached to anything created by Animate Undead or Animate Dead.
Tell him that, you know, we had good times and remind him not to spill my secrets to all the other skeletons and let's just go, okay? Let's just go.
So, as you begin to set out following the quickly dissipating tracks that you discovered the day before, Yixis does pipe up and let all of you know that the necklace is a necklace that has 8 beads of force on it.
Ooh.
Wait, what happened?
The necklace that was found on Xerx's watch,
Mhm.
Ixis identified it as a necklace with 8 beads of force.
Of force?
Of force, yeah. They
Is
are.
it like Ring of the Ram or something, or?
It's what it is you can take a bead off of the necklace and throw it using an action up to 60 feet, and the bead explodes on impact, and any creature within a 10-foot radius of that point must make a dexterity save or take 5d4 force damage.
Cool.
And it also has some other fancy effects that happen afterwards.
Cool.
Okay, so Xena, give me a percentile roll, and this will determine how difficult it is for you guys continue following these footsteps.
A 90.
A 90, okay. It's almost like they're still fresh. You have no problem whatsoever following these
destiny.
footsteps.
Destiny.
And you follow them for quite some time. It goes well beyond your usual 2-hour block of travel. You feel like you've been following them for a few hours at least.
I will say if it
And-
strays from our path, because we do want to save that person.
It does stay relatively straight
Okay.
in the same direction southward. And your diligence is rewarded as these footsteps lead you to a small camp. The camp, however, is in a bit of a state. It appears whatever or whoever was here was beset upon by something hostile while they were probably relaxing.
May
I'll
or
do
may
one
not
of-
have been a skeleton.
I'll do one of those who am I
Mercy.
kidding? Hey guys, there's a camp up there, and it looks like some shit went down. Should I go check it out? You want to check it out? You want to go spider and check it out? What do we want to do? I think we should check it out, regardless. Just saying.
You are still in a very flat area, so you can see even from the distance that you're at that there doesn't appear to be anything moving in the camp. So whatever was there probably is not there anymore. Or
Check it
was killed.
Let's check it out and be careful.
Do I see Skelly?
You with that 90, you see Skelly's footprints following the tracks, and they seem to go straight towards the camp. You will have to actually go to the camp to determine where they go from there, if anywhere.
Skelly walked this way. And we
One
will...
more.
I did tell Skelly to follow the footprints.
follow. He did his job.
I didn't say anything about killing who they came across, but sort of left that open to interpretation.
When did you lose control of Skelly?
24 hours after I cast this.
Has it been that long?
It
Yeah.
has. I think that 24 hours ran out about...
Because I cast at the start of the day previous.
Yeah, so it ran out about 3.5, 4 hours ago, because you guys have been traveling for at least 3 hours by now.
Okay. So we're gonna get... Xena will start walking closer unless anyone stops her.
I'm not gonna stop you, but I'll mark him up next to you so that we're basically shoulder to shoulder as we're going in.
And there's nothing really noteworthy on the way to the camp. And when you reach the camp, you see that this camp itself is no more than 30 or so feet across. And the remains of a shredded tent sit on the western edge of it, corners still staked firmly into the sand. In the center of the site is a small fire pit that appears to be formed out of the desert sand itself, though turned into solid stone by some unknown means. The flames of the fire have burnt themselves out, though fading warmth can still be felt underneath the coals. Whatever comforts the owner of this camp had have been scattered around amidst a battle. Cookware has been tossed about, scraps of cloth littering the surface of the sand. A wooden box sits toppled over near the fire, its lid flung open and contents still sitting inside. One thing that stands out to all of you about the remains of this camp is the aesthetic of it. The tent, the wooden box, even the cookware, it's all very foreign in design. Though, to be fair, you're mostly just familiar with Gnollish, Dwarven, and Arcastan designs. Aside from the belongings of the previous owner, you also spot several dark metal plates and metal pieces scattered about. They look as though they were parts from full sets of armor. And on the northern side of the camp, there's even what looks to be a helmet with a long blue tassel protruding from the back of it. Next to the helmet is a large sword plunged into the sand. There was most certainly a battle in this camp.
I'm curious about the sword, so Margo.
A large sword, you say?
I do
Yeah.
say.
Fox, did I literally just send Skelly to kill that traveling blacksmith?
You don't know. You can look for Skelly's footprints to see what happened. See if Skelly ended his journey here or continued onwards.
Yeah, I'm a bit curious about that. So Zara's gonna start following Skelly's footprints.
Okay. So we have, I believe, 2 people looking at the sword, 1 person looking at Skelly's footprints. Xena, what are you doing?
I am looking for signs of Skelly and signs of the wolf mount that I want
Okay.
in her
so
mind.
everybody give me investigation checks.
Investigation.
9.
Let me use this dice.
Dirty 20.
17.
16.
Okay. We will start with Zara, I think. You do manage to follow Skelly's footprints as it entered this camp area, and it looks like Skelly just continued right through it, as though this mess here was probably already long since done with by the time Skelly arrived. But ever obedient, continued to follow your orders and followed some footprints that lead out of the camp on the opposite side. And Iza and Xerax, the 2 of you approach this sword, this large sword that is stuck into the ground, and it is made of a jet black material, a metal of some kind, at a glance. And it's quite decorative on the hilt as well. Are you touching it?
That's a dangerous question.
It is a
If
dangerous
Xerix
question.
doesn't, Iza will, but I will pause a moment to see if Xerix does, because I know he needs a sword. He needs a sword.
I don't think.
You do see
Does it
runes
look-
carved into it.
Okay, that's what I was gonna ask. Does it look more than just like standard issue sword?
It does. And in reference to its size, it's sticking out of the ground. The top of the hilt probably sits at 4.5 feet up from the surface of the sand, so it was likely a great sword of some kind.
I look at Iza. I wouldn't touch that. There seems to be runes all over it.
Should we get the pup to look at it? Probably like that Asher was going like this. Touch it.
You just like grab like Yixis by the scruff and just hold him in front of like whatever you want identified.
That's how Ethan does it until he stands up for himself.
If you are having him look at it, I can roll an Arcana on his behalf. And
Yeah, I think
If
that
we're
would be
allowed
the
to.
smart thing.
So you grab him by the scruff of his neck and hoist him over to the sword. He gives it a once over and rolls a 3 on the d20. What is his Arcana? For a total of 10. He identifies the runes on it as arcane runes. They aren't like a language specifically. They are just magical runes that were likely placed on this sword during some sort of enchantment process. Does he have detect magic prepared? He does not. So
And you ritually cast it.
he can ritually cast it if that is what you guys want him to do.
That would be the smart thing to do.
Trying to determine how stupid Eva is.
You set him down on the ground, I assume, so he
Yep.
can begin his ritual. Okay, so you set him down and he begins the 10-minute ritual of detect magic. And during that time, Xena, you poke around a bit and you realize that Skelly's footprints do continue through the camp, just as Zara discovered as well, and exits through the other side. So at the very least, Skelly was still alive when it came upon this camp. And you rolled a 9, right?
Yeah.
You feel like there's more to see here, but you don't currently see it.
Since we have 10 minutes while the spell's being cast, can I gather up the plate mail? Or the full plate? To,
It is not a full set of plate, but
Okay.
rather just bits and pieces of what were probably once part of a set of
Okay.
armor. Or
I thought
several
full
sets of
sets started
armor.
about. Okay, never mind then.
And they do show marks of damage, relatively fresh damage. So these pieces and plates were probably damaged and knocked off during whatever battle that happened.
I'm gonna come back to the group. Scaly's footprints go out beyond the camp. Looks like it was still following something. So maybe whoever was in this camp ran that way.
Pup is trying to see if this is a magical sword. Looks like if it's okay to touch, might be something that Xerix can wield in the meantime.
Yeah, until we know if it's going to explode when someone touches it, I probably would recommend against that. I've heard too many stories about curious pups touching things they shouldn't and losing limbs to it.
That's how we learn. What do and not to touch.
Yes, but I like all of mine currently attached.
If you believe the stories of the matriarch, that's how she does it. Touches,
And-
puts on, eats everything.
And that's gone so well for her. Yes, she's our matriarch, but she has made some bad decisions. Her
So-
stories are ones of glory and caution.
They are the learn from my mistakes type of stories.
Don't
I don't see any
repeat them.
mistakes.
So are you guys doing anything while Yixis is doing his ritual, or just waiting to see the results of that?
I'm sitting next to him, tail flapping
Just
impatiently, staring at the sword. He's the one to touch the sword.
Okay, so once the ritual completes, Gixis lets you guys know that the sword is not giving off any school of magic, so likely not magical. However, the box that is toppled over near the fireplace that is currently open, the box itself is giving off an aura of transmutation and conjuration. And there is something else underneath the tatters of the tent that seems to be giving off enchantment and some other school of magic that for whatever reason he cannot identify.
Did I hear the words, the sword is safe to touch?
Yes you did.
I'm touching the sword.
If you touch the sword, I'm gonna go check out the tent.
Oh god, Virgin broke. What
Uh,
happened?
No,
I
he's doing something
I'll
over the
put something
counter.
over his counter.
Oh, okay, I was like, oh lord. It's
So-
gone
Zena's
green.
gonna go over to Isa and be like, "You guys find anything? I'm not finding signs of anyone."
You point out magical items. We're gonna check them out, I guess.
I found signs of Skelly and another person.
I saw Skelly a little bit, but no one else. No bodies found?
No bodies.
That's one thing.
From the tracks that I found, it's more than likely whoever was in this camp went off in that direction. And Skelly, being true to Skelly's orders, followed those footprints.
Do you think this is the person that was in trouble that we're supposed to save?
Possibly.
It's in the same direction.
Well then,
Isa, because she was impatient waiting for that ritual, when she gets over to the tent, she's just gonna search through the tent and pick up whatever she thought might be enchanted in there.
Okay. So we will start with the Xerax here. You are
Yes.
touching the sword.
Touching the sword.
Are you like grabbing it and trying to pull it out of the sand, or are you just like running your fingers across it, or?
I'm going to take hold of the hilt. And if nothing happens, then I'm going to pull it out of the sand.
Okay, yeah, you take hold of the hilt, nothing happens. So, looking at the size of this thing and the heft of it, you kind of prepare yourself and get ready to use a lot of heft and strength to pull it out. And when you do, it yanks out a lot easier than you expected it to. You almost smack yourself in the face with the hilt of it. It's so easy. And looking down at the sword, you realize that it's so easy to pull out of the sand because the top third of the blade has been broken off and shows fresh signs of damage, which kind of makes two things occur to you in that moment. One, whatever the wielder of this sword was fighting is strong enough, or was strong enough, to break their blade. And two, this likely was a magical blade, and whatever the wielder of it was fighting was strong enough to break a magical item.
That's upsetting.
And Isa, you are over at the tent,
Mm-hmm.
the shreds of the tent.
I'm with her, helping.
So Yixis points out to you guys exactly where the enchantment is coming from. And you spot the corner of an object. Looks to be a box of some kind. Another box, I know. Peeking out from the tatters of the tent.
Pick up the box. Is it locked?
Okay. You move aside the shreds of the tent and pull the box out. And the box is about 12 by 12 by 6 inches deep in its dimensions. So it's not a huge box, but a decent size. And the box itself is quite cold. Nothing bad happens to you when you touch it. And it appears to be made of some kind of dark oiled wood. Certainly not from any plant that grows here in the desert. The box itself is carefully and ornately carved. Briar thorns carved into its every edge, and each of the 4 sides are carved with 2 symbols: a pair of eyes surrounded by 7 stars, and a clawed paw. Carved into the top of the box is a 3rd symbol, and it's significantly larger than the others. It's that of an 8-pointed star with a circle that runs through each of the points. There is a simple latch that holds the box closed.
Mara, touch the latch and look at Zia and be like, should we open it? Yay!
Are either of you proficient in religion?
Nope.
Okay, those symbols mean nothing to you.
They're just squiggles.
Someone
you
drew
open the
pretty
box?
pictures. I opened the box.
Okay, opening the box, you find that the contents within appear to be wrapped in a soft hide covered in downy white fur. Within the fur wrappings are something that has a decent heft to it.
Going to
What'd you find? What's in the box?
open up the... Something's in here. I'm going to keep looking. I'm going to open the fur up.
Okay, so kind of pulling aside the fur wrappings, you see within appears to be 5 magnifying glasses, though they don't actually seem to be magnifying anything.
I'm going to hold one up and look through it.
Okay, so holding it up and kind of looking it over, you see that each one of these, that they all look the same, and they have a beautifully carved handle to them, made from the same wood as the box itself. And each of the handles are carved in such a way that makes them appear to be thorned vines twisting around each other, though no thorns actually jut out from the handles, because that would be bad. The metal ring that holds the lens and affixes it to the handle looks to be made from a melding of 3 different types of metals. You can distinctly see each type layered over each other again and again, and carved into the metal are several arcane symbols and shapes. The lenses themselves are about 4 inches in diameter, and although they are crystal clear, they do appear to give a pearlescent shimmer to anything you look at through them.
I don't think these do anything.
What do you see? Zena's gonna pick one up and look through it.
And same deal, it's crystal clear looking through it, but there is like some sort of pearlescent shimmer around everything that you see when you're looking through these lenses.
I'll take it, going around. I look at the box. I look up. I take it out. Just kind of look in a bunch of different directions to see if anything. I look at Zara. I look at Xerix. I look at Yixis.
Nothing seems to change.
I don't know. Maybe we can sell them or trade them.
Maybe the pup can identify them later tonight.
Yeah. Let's just take them with us.
Put them back in the box, wrap it back up, close the box, put the box in my bag. Is the bag big enough for the box? I also have that stone box in there, so...
Let me look to see how much junk you've got in your inventory. If you're like me, your inventory's full of junk. Yeah, you can put the box in there. You have room.
Okay.
Are you telling the rest of the group about the box?
Hey guys, we found a box. Has weird glass things in it.
Too.
Weird glass. Okay.
Yeah, you just look through it and everything looks kind of shiny, but like nothing different. It had some weird squigglies on the outside of the box too. Couldn't make it out.
Weird squigglies.
Yeah, squigglies.
And you just opened it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We figured the pup could tell us what it does later.
Yep.
He's good at that.
Box opened.
I look at Zara, shrug.
Can I see these shiny things you keep talking about?
She'll go over to you, pull the box out of her bag, open the box. So you see all of it.
Shiny glass things. You put it up to your eye and it makes things kind of shiny glowy.
What about the
I already
squigglies
know
on
the answer
box?
to this question, but I'm going to ask anyway. Zara, are you proficient in religion?
I am.
You don't say.
When you ask that
Um,
question, it's like, this hurts so much because I can make a roll.
So go ahead and give me a religion roll when you see the symbols on this box.
23.
23, okay, yeah, just at a glance, you know that these are holy symbols. And with that roll, you are able to identify them as well. The pair of eyes surrounded by 7 stars is the symbol of Selune. The clawed paw is the symbol of Malar. And the 8-pointed star is the symbol of Mistra. So, Selune, you know her domain is the moon and the stars. She's actually, a lot of things fall into her domain.
Mhm.
Beauty, purity, love, navigation, wanderers, they all are under the guidance of Selune. As well as diviners and dreamers and good and neutral lycanthropes as well. You know that Malar, who is a bit of a lesser known deity, but with that above 20 roll, you know that his domain is the hunt, savagery, bloodlust, and evil lycanthropes. And then Mistra, you know, I mean, anybody that knows magic knows Mistra. Mistra is magic. She is the weave. People can use arcane magic because she allows it to be so.
I relay all this back to everyone.
Xena has already forgotten half of this information.
But the real question is, what do the lenses do then?
I told you. You put it up to your face.
Whatever they are, we should probably leave them where we found them.
Why?
And
This
They're
is-
ours.
This is-
Yixis does speak up and say that the box itself is the thing that was giving off the enchantment magic, and the enchantment was just to make it cold to the touch. Don't worry, you're not all cursed. But the magic that the lenses are giving off is the school that he, for whatever reason, is not able to identify.
Xena kind of tries to hide the box from Zara with her body and will reach in and take one of the magnifying glasses and put it away. Yeah, you do what you want with the box. Totally fine.
How many glasses are there?
5, minus the one that's
And there's nothing else in the box, just those glasses.
I don't know.
I'm gonna look through it, seeing as how this is the unknown magic. And it
I
was
got an
just-
18 for sleight of hand, by the way.
I feel like that beats everyone's passive perception.
Yep.
How about an
um,
insight roll?
Yeah, that'd probably beat her.
Well,
Bring it. Insight me.
you I think that would be an active perception actually, because you were actively looking at
Yeah.
the box.
Oh, okay, so active
Put my
perception.
body in front of her.
Okay, that's a 17, so perception, that is a 22.
Damn it.
You see it happen as though she wasn't even trying to be sly.
You know what? I'm just gonna let her think she hid it away as I investigate the rest of the box to see what else is in there.
Okay. So you pull out the other magnifying glasses, I assume,
Mhm.
and you pull out the wrapping that was around them. At this point, probably safe to assume that the wrapping was just meant to protect them from being rattled around. And underneath the wrapping is a little piece of parchment. Looks like an index card almost. And on it is some writing. It is in common. And it looks handwritten and fairly fresh. And on it is... Are you proficient with Arcana?
Nope.
Okay. It looks like a bunch of gibberish to you. You recognize it as ramblings of an arcane spell or arcane ritual, or enchantment ritual, something of the sort. It's a little above your head, but it's technical ramblings, nothing that's super interesting to you. But on the back side of the card seems to be a description of some sort. And at the very top of it, it says Vital Speculum. And then it has a description of what those lenses are. So mechanically, these lenses, they are attuned magical items. And when attuned to one of these lenses, you may use a bonus action on your turn to look through the lens at each creature you can see. Any creature that is near death, 1/4 health or below, will be outlined in a red aura when viewed through the lens. The lens has 1 charge. You may use an action to expend the charge, targeting a single creature you can see and forcing them to make a DC 17 Wisdom save. On a failed save, all status effects, abilities, or spells currently affecting the creature come to an end. The item regains its charge every 3 days, or when you are struck by a critical hit. So I will post that information in Discord for you guys as well.
Okay.
There are 5 of these lenses. These are the raccoon items that Groudon paid for.
Ah.
Ooh.
And I think on that discovery, we are going to end the session today. I did not expect it to take the entire session for you guys to find those, but kind of glad it did. It made it interesting. And there is some more information to be found within this camp, but I don't want to dive too deep into it without Shadowfox, because he is the arcane guy in the group right now.
I was
So,
pretty, because Xeno's or Zara was just going to take the card, just shove it in Xerx's face and just go, not
Yep.
Xerx, but Xerx's face and say, read.
Yeah, there's some technical stuff on there that he would understand and could relay to the group, and I don't want to just gloss over that.
We're so mean to the poor pup.
He's so useful.
He is
I
very
thought
useful,
you
but
were-
we're not nice about it.
I
Well,
thought
there's
you
not.
were
we
just
are.
going to take that box, shove it in your bag, and call it a day.
I
And I'm
was.
like, oh God, please don't do that. Please don't do that.
I wanted to wait for Yixis is what I was trying to do, because I didn't want to do that without him.
And Xena's not trying to be mean. She's just kind of playfully hazing him a little bit. He's the new guy in the
I
group.
thought I'm minus 2 charisma. I'm blunt.
Xena's very charismatic. She's just giving him a hard time for fun.
I mean, if Shadowfox was here, I would have showed the box in Yixis' face and told him to figure out what it was. So.
Fair.
So that will do it for us tonight. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you to the players for a wonderful session, as always.
Thank you.
And we are going to be right back at it tomorrow with episode... what number are we on?
Yes.
Yes.
Episode
12.
yes.
I think it's 12.
12?
Yeah, I think
So
it's
next
12.
one's 13.
No, I think we're a few episodes behind Gnoll by Out, because Into the Wildlands started a couple
Damn.
weeks
Oh,
later,
for
I believe.
Wildlands. Sorry, I thought you were talking about
Yeah.
this episode. My bad.
Tell you in just a second.
Either way, we'll be back at 7:30 p.m. Pacific tomorrow for our next episode of Into the Wildlands.
9.
Episode
Episode
9 of Into the Wildlands. And back at it on Saturday with
Withered Wastes.
that one,
Yes.
Withered Wastes.
Yes.
There's so much going on and so much that I want to know and did know but now don't know because of the memory loss. And it's like I want to go check on Jared and see how he's doing, but I forgot that he's now like indoctrinated, and he said some really inspiring things, but now I've forgotten what those things are. And oh man. And then Mina's committing more atrocities, and it's just
More war crimes.
That's like Mina's job in life, isn't it?
Yeah, she as a free action, she could commit a war crime every round.
It's not her job in life. She just volunteers.
Yeah, every party needs that one chaotic person that pushes them into doing things they shouldn't do.
There's
Wait,
chaotic.
Are you saying
and
that every
then
group...
there's breaking the Geneva Convention.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are you saying every group needs a war criminal?
No, every group needs tickles.
So which person in this group is the war criminal?
We haven't identified that yet.
It's secret.
I think I have a pretty good idea.
Zara, she's the one that defies the will of gods on a daily basis.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, I would say.
Yeah, this is true. I like
You got the demon lords pissed at me.
Her whole existence is a giant middle finger to one specific demon lord at the moment. So yeah.
Yeah, I would say
Xener
Zara has committed the greatest atrocity in the group thus far. Granted, the atrocity was against a chaotic, evil demon lord, so take that as you will.
Is it really an atrocity?
It is when I'm the one controlling that demon lord.
Ah. I'm still gonna say it's for the greater good.
Ethan still believes that demon lord just couldn't do anything. That's because he showed up and then disappeared and then sent minions.
Oh
She's
boy.
very, very smart.
I'm hoping this game lasts long enough for what has been put into motion to come to fruition. Because I really want to play that out.
I do too, even though I know it's not great.
Anyway, I could talk about Demon Lords all day, but I won't because it is past 11:30. So thank you everyone for tuning in. We will see you tomorrow.